chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out there with a big smile, no handcuff our officers. Hold on, wait. I think the script, we got some shooters.
Bow.
Off the hip. Yeah. Oh, chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out there with a big smile, no handcuff our officers. Hold on, wait. I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip. Yeah. Chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out the arena, big smile, no handcuff my officers. Hold on, wait. I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip.
Chat, what it do? We are here. My brother Razor. Oh, baby, the broken bracelet.
We gotta pull the link tail today.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, we gonna bring y'all a little extra today. We ain't bring y'all the Bash in Berlin. I ain't gonna lie, the daytime pay-per-views, they tire me out. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I'm already staying up late, chat. I come through. It's an early pay-per-view. The fucking pre-shows. Go ahead.
We got one more early show this year. One more. Just one more.
Which one is that? The Saudi one?
Crown Jewel. Oh no.
Man. I'm good on audio. They ain't hit me with no craziness yet.
Got your ass again.
Oh man.
Again. It's hilarious. Folks, we're sorry. I don't know who keeps doing this, but leave us alone. Unless you want to collab, but until then, leave us the fuck alone.
They got to get me every show. I'm gone. I'm here.
Are you perfect? You just fine now.
Man, I don't understand. Like, I really don't understand. Like, it's a matter of I'm gonna just hit the refresh as soon as we get the show started. I'm gonna say hi, refresh, come back.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say hi and come back.
But you were fine when I pulled the linchpin. I don't know what happened.
That's how when I heard you say, "Oh no," I already knew. I'm like, "No, they got me." I don't understand what that's about right there. But you said we got one more show, and that's in Saudi, early show.
The Crown Jewel.
For me, somebody that stay up late, overnight Crusader, them early shows, man, it'd be tough. Like, again, I was telling you this beforehand. A lot of people enjoyed the show. I was like really feeling like I had to pull myself through this show. And it's kind of like you said, we kind of foreshadowed a lot of stuff that happened on here.
But I mean, I will say this: Lyon, France. We can't say now the loudest crowd of the year.
You think so? Yeah, it's not a matter of think. They really turned up. I thought Germany was a little loud too, though. I'm not gonna lie, like
they got close a couple of times, but bell to bell from start to finish. Lyon was there. But at the same notion, like, how we feel in the fact that most of the shows this year have been outside of the United States.
I think it's been dope, except for like
because we got one more in the States, and that's next month. Bad Blood.
The crowd definitely makes for the ambiance. Like, I want to say the first few times when they went to Australia or to Saudi, and then the crowds were a bit flat, like, so it just made the events feel a little. But these crowds, these overseas crowds, international, they've been going crazy. They've been turning up. So
because what NXT appeals we have left after Bad Blood, the US ain't gonna appeal until the Rumble. and that's
Which
in February.
right, which they switched the date on that. I mean,
So Atlanta, you got to pop out show out. Let them know that the U.S. going to need a few more PLEs in 2025.
I mean, but what I think that's a good direction too, except for the the obvious time difference I'm speaking of. But you can always go back and watch it later. But for me, we get all the live shows here in the United States. So where I'm getting at is that when these PLEs go to a different country, and sometimes some of the talent on the roster, they from these places, it makes for like a dope. It puts into the storyline. It gives you that like, oh, they're gonna give Drew Mack the title in Scotland.
How many SmackDowns have we gotten that were on a tape delay?
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Yep.
Who knows what's going to happen when Raw goes to Netflix? Are those going to stay live? Are those going to be on a tape delay? We don't know yet, but I feel it does hurt the shows because by the time the show's on TV for us, whether it be the East Coast or West Coast, it's all on Twitter. It's all on Instagram. It's all on Facebook. You name it, it's all there. TikTok. So it takes away from how good, bad, or different the show was once it's live.
I could see that.
Unless they start doing what AEW New Japan does. Is anybody that posts on a social media platform, it gets taken down, and those folks get a strike immediately. Aside from that, like, I don't know how do you combat this.
Like for me, I had to take self action. I just stood most of the day off, the platforms that I know is going to give me the wrestling news, which would most likely be Twitter, Facebook. So I kind of stood away from those things. I didn't go looking nothing up on none of the websites. So I tried to do my best to stay surprised with the show. Even doing that though, I still seen shit that I like. Remember we spoke about last week that I still seen. Oh, Bailey came back, but I just didn't know what segment. But it was hard to ignore. Like, dang, I opened Twitter once and already it's there. Like, Bailey superstar came back.
Was it on Friday? I opened Twitter just to check something out of the blue for if it was football related. First thing I see is the closing moments of the Nia Jax Beach and Street fight. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, so those tape delays, it hurts in 2024 when you got people with the camcorders. I know, like you said, there could be preventative measures for that.
Or as unpopular as this is, especially since at least Raw is gonna go to Netflix and SmackDown gonna go there. Or actually, oh no, yeah. So whenever the USA deal ends, Raw SmackDown will also be on Netflix. But in the meantime, it's like, do you risk taking the hit?
Week ever?
So if you think about it, like, what do you think the percentage of people that have cable versus those that have like Fubo or Sling TV?
I mean,
or at least are assuming Sling TV is on USA Network, at least whatever. Sling TV, their servers are usually on the East Coast. So would it be okay if that it be kind of bicycle with the ratings and has the show air when it would be like, say for example, 8-9 a.m. and or see what time would the PLAs be on your end if they were in Saudi Arabia, like noon?
Yeah, the same around the same time.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. So if they air the SmackDown around that time, would that be a big deal? Do you think?
Not. I mean, it'll boil you down to the scheduled programming for the television at that point. But for me as a consumer viewer, if I'm available that day, it's no different.
I'm saying if they planned ahead to book that time slot, would that be the end of the world? Especially since, as everyone in AW has to point out, the ratings don't matter. Whenever SmackDown goes to Netflix, or even if they do like a special show for Raw, so again, like we've heard Saudi wants a Raw this year. Would it be the end of the world if they did it at 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. your time, as opposed
For,
to the usual 5 p.m.?
for me, no, because I got DVR, so I got a different like. Even if I miss a show at whatever time, I can always go back and watch. So for me, but it's like 12 p.m. I'm not usually up at those times, so I'd probably miss the show, honestly.
Or but again, it's or say next year when it's on Netflix, it'll be available as early as noon. Would
It'd
that
be
be the end of the world?
nah. And like you said, it's only
I
a
guess
few times out the year. This isn't happening every week.
it's going to be interesting next year.
So, I mean, I just feel like it's hard to really book certain things like and again, like we could go from the results of Bash to then where we went from there. Like we had Gunther winning, and now his next challenger is Sami Zayn. Like,
Well,
fuck.
who knows? Who knows? I mean,
I like that pump fake. Like,
maybe
no, I'm not giving you this championship opportunity.
maybe you get another one of your triple threats and it's Drew and Punk. Maybe. But again, back to Berlin. They had some moments there that were just special. Like you couldn't have set up a more perfect environment. For example, in said main event in Berlin, it's taken the internet by storm. Randy's entrance, from the strobe lights to the crowd singing the chorus at the top of their lungs. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. Like that moment right there was just special, and Randy just soaking it in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really did it. I really did.
I told you he's so methodical. That's what I was saying the night before, and I was thinking about that watching that entrance. He was really letting the moment sink in. He didn't rush
Because
that entrance, not at all.
again, like he may not be on the Berlin card next year. Who knows if they're going back to Berlin next year? He may never have a chance to go back to Germany in general. Like, yeah, he wants to wrestle till he's at least 50, but still, it's like you don't know when they're going to come back here again.
Mm-hmm. To me, I'm gonna just shoot off the hip. My issue was, and we're gonna start from the top. Undisputed WWE Championship match: Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. We had
Should we really be
speculation.
surprised by that?
Nope, but we had speculations. It was either gonna be the mixed tag match or this match right here. And not
I'm
once
kind
do
of
this.
glad it was this. You had the bullshit out the way early.
Yeah, not once did I think Kevin Owens was gonna win, even with the stunner, the you know the few times they exchanged finishers. I still felt like it was destined for Cody to retain the championship in that match. Did they have a
They
good
had me.
match? Yes.
They had me up until the back and forth with Kevin Owens and Wade Barrett. Kevin could have went for, I think it was a power. He had a chance to go for something outside the ring. He didn't go for it. Wade says, "What are you doing?" And then Kevin just tells him, "Shut up," or something like that. Just
Yeah, I'm
tells him,
glad you mentioned that. It was that knee spot, the Cody knee spot. Like, come on, man. Like, they really went to that. Like, so he wrestles the whole match damn near fine, no brace, no nothing. And then all of a sudden goes for the springboard, his knee gives in. Kevin Owens doesn't take charge. It has that moment with Wade. I'm with you there. That bothered me. I was like,
had you done something there and you went the rest of the match as it was, okay, well done. But because that happened, that's what lost me. That's why I said before this. You got the bullshit out of the way early.
and then even after, remember, I was calling for something. I wanted to see something transpire between the two of them. Something that's like, wow, we can't come back from this. Like Kevin really just no, they just good stuff. You okay,
Yeah,
Kevin? You okay? Cody asking, "You okay?"
Cody should have rolled down the ring and just essentially gloated the fact that he beat him. Like, I told you, don't sleep on me. So anything you could have said anything, but for the could get a roll. Cody wants to try to stay at babyface. Cody just turn now because if you're gonna wait for Roman, Roman's gonna eat you alive. Go down that path now while you have a chance to gain some kind of ground.
Yeah, I wasn't really like, I don't know what could have took the place of this match, or they could have swapped people, but it just, I guess they had to put Cody in the match.
Hate to say it was, but I don't hate, to be honest. If it wasn't going to open the show, this would have, beyond a shadow of a doubt, been the piss break match.
I don't doubt it, because by the time the actual mixed tag match came on before Gunther, I felt like that was a little, like, I understand the crowd. You want to keep the crowd engaged for the last two matches, but I'm like, okay, like between the next match, which was the women's tag team match, and that one, I thought something could have probably been swapped, maybe even the strap match.
You could have opened the strap match, but again, like, this was the match where folks said, all right, I can still wait in line a little bit longer, get my shit and all this stuff, get the bathroom out the way beforehand, and then I'm good for the rest of the show.
Now,
if you put any later, the lines for the bathroom would have been longer than Chris Jericho's match at Wembley. The concession lines would have been packed. The merch line would have been packed.
after that match, we got the women's tag team championship match: Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill versus Alba Fire, Ala Dawn. How you feel about that one?
I'm a little surprised that the Unholy Union did not retain. I would have bet money that Alba Fire and Ala Dawn would have retained, and then we would have ignited the inevitable feud between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. But we're going to wait a little longer. As we learn today on Raw, we have number one contenders for Raw next week, but
yeah, I was definitely surprised that
I'll get to that later on.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Bianca and Jade got it, because I thought some friction would definitely start between them at that Bash in Berlin. Alba Fire though, and Ala Dawn, like you said, we're gonna get to them later. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't retain, and they look strong tonight. So we'll get back to them later. The next match after that, the strap match, Drew Mack and CM Punk. I misfired so badly on this match with my thoughts and opinions. Thought the match was gonna be shit. I ended up liking the match better than what I thought. It was more entertaining.
I was honestly surprised by Punk's cardio in this match. Now, the finish was what it was, but throughout the match, I was impressed with Punk because he showed that the old man still got it.
I love how they always go back to the history. Like, I kind of forgot that Drew McIntyre was in strap matches. We see his statistics, and then you see his statistics in the in Europe. He's been losing overseas.
Has Drew won the single match in Europe?
They say he was 0-2 or 0-3 going into Bash in Berlin.
He lost the match against Gunther. He lost the match against Roman. He lost the match against Priest.
And now Punk. So I think it's always dope when they give us. I know we've been speaking about the little tidbits that they be giving us, like that, the little graphic details giving us stats. I thought it was dope. I also forgot that CM Punk had a Samoan strap match with Umaga.
That was his last strap match, but it wasn't the last strap match that WWE had.
Right. So that's why, like, I was kind of like when the strap match was like,
So you you never guess this. The last strap match that WWE had: Shad Gaspard versus JTG. Now, Shad, rest in peace. But again, that was the last strap match in WWE history prior to this one.
that's crazy. Yeah, I'd have never guessed that one. I just thought, just talk on the strap match real quick. That's the new thing that they did with the lights. Cause I feel
Well,
like
that's kind of always been there, but I mean, they may just change the style of the lights. 'Cause I remember them being rounded bulbs last time,
okay. Cause I felt
but it
like
was it's the same thing for the most part.
the one little detail of the match that I didn't know if they changed that, and I was when Drew McIntyre is touching a corner, a turnbuckle, and then CM Punk is on the shoulder, and he touched it right after him. I thought that would reset Drew's like.
It was supposed to,
Okay.
but by definition of the rules in place, that's all was supposed to happen.
And then they end up fighting for the last turnbuckle. That's what confused me at the
But they what they did was they tried to replicate Eddie Guerrero JBL.
mm.
That's where shit kind of went a little wonky after that.
Yeah, because you got the lights simultaneously on, like all like, and they fighting for the last one.
Yep.
So that's the only little detail that I was like, it was a funny, cool spot. But then when I seen them fighting for the last turnbuckle, I'm like, well, are they aware that it reset it each time, or no, it didn't reset? Like, but I guess that was just me looking too much into it. How'd you feel about the overall match? Did you feel like I felt like up until this point, after the women's tag team match, I think that at that
This
point,
was fun. So like I said, I think folks were more impressed that again, push comes to shove, Punk can still have one of those solid matches similar to his when he was one of the best in the world. One of. He still has that in him. He's got to work for it, but he could still go if needed be.
I just feel like still, I don't know. I see how he won the match, but I feel like Drew should have still won, especially like with that level of physicality that he brings tonight on Raw. It's just like it's hard for me to see how CM Punk should really be beating Drew. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, we'll
again,
see. We'll see
he's
what happens. We'll see what happens. Match 3, I guess.
yep. CM Punk, I could say like if he had a wrestling card and this say specialty match on the back, I'm putting strap match. This is one of his specialty matches. This is one of those low key like, damn, I didn't think he could beat him, but yo, he got in this match, he got a chance against anybody. That's how I feel now with CM
Well,
Punk.
put him in a bullroper dog collar match next and see if any kind of road match works.
Right? Like, this seems to
But
be his
one
specialty
of
match.
those two would have been a better alternative than this because of the stipulation that they ended up fucking up was the corner had to be touched uninterruptedly. A bullrope match or even a dog collar match would have been a little bit better.
And then even with the tidbit of the time, they said you got what, a minute to before the lights turn off for 30 seconds.
And it should be each corner should be tapped uninterruptedly.
I felt like,
So
it's too much attention to detail, but CM Punk kind of milked the time with the last turnbuckle he hit. Like I'm
yeah,
like, it's like It would have been fine to me if it would have reset just because he took so long. Like it added.
Like,
damn.
They should have added a timer.
That yeah.
If they're gonna go that specific, at least add a timer. That way you add some type of realism in it. So that way, so when Punk taps it and it goes out, you have another moment right there, and then Drew just kicks the dark at him, hits four corners, and boom, he wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you got a point. I like those moments when they got a timer and the talent always looks at the Titantron and
Gets a little too cocky with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I thought that moment was gonna happen. I'm waiting and he just ended up. I was like, okay, well, I guess the time, didn't apply there no more. Like, but overall, though, it was a good match. Just 5 matches of the night. That's 3 in. We into the. I don't know if it's the co-main event, but the match before the main event, the mixed tag team match.
You call the co-main like now we're at the real meat and potatoes of the card.
And I think this is what, like, the crowd in the kickoff the day before, they seen Rhea Ripley, they fucking erupted. They love them some Rhea Ripley. So I could see the placement here again. How'd you feel about the match? Like, I think it's pretty.
It was fun.
We seen the chicanery. We seen and it's pretty much how we called it. Like, I'm like, all right, so if they're not gonna add nobody, if Rhea Ripley and Judgment and Damian Priest aren't making like a new Judgment Day, and it's just them Terror Twins, they're about to run through them.
I know a lot of dudes on Twitter wish they were Dominic when she had him in that little inverted arm triangle in the corner.
Yep. Hell, they was getting their hands on him to the point that I think people are teasing and actually wanting to see an intergender match between them. How would you feel, like a match between Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio?
Again, come January 6th, which is the first Raw for Netflix, I wouldn't bet against it.
I'm not gonna lie too. I don't know at what point of the match he caught that shiner, but
yeah, again, I didn't think he got tagged that hard in the head. Unless it's something we missed or whatever. I don't know.
Hey, they always say
maybe him and Liv got a little too freaky in bed. Who knows?
Got crazy then. They say it's always the ones that look like it didn't connect that actually hurt. Probably slipped and slid one right through it.
One of them tagged this shit.
Yeah, the blood in the eye. I'm like, damn. Like tonight when he appeared
and broke up with blood vessels too.
How you feel about like Damian Priest's place? I feel like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like after being a world champion, I feel like they need to. I said this before too. They need to get right to it with him and Finn.
And then that could be the move for October 5th, if not November in Canada for Survivor Series. But we're definitely heading towards that, what we saw on Raw.
And then they got the World Tag Team Championships in Purgatory once again. Now, I'm not mad that they're in the hands of the Judgment Day, but fuck, can they at least defend this shit to make it more like to up their stock even more? Like, we're not just weasels. We
against who?
And win it.
Against who?
Problem. I mean, you still got Final Testament. You could just throw up in there.
You never should have split up the belts.
Then also we got news.
Just like there's not enough women on each show for the women's tag, you don't have enough male tag teams on each show for 2 belts.
We got news today too. The Odyssey Jones is removed from the page. So, do you think like they might keep the New Day together now, or is it still like we still might tease this Xavier?
Well, I guess someone had asked Xavier Woods his thoughts on it, and he said it wasn't me that had anything to do with it. Maybe it is, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? Maybe it's part of the storyline for all we know. But
questions for the tag team division.
On Raw, SmackDown, even to a degree NXT, there's not enough tag teams in each division. Therefore, you never should split the belts at Mania.
And they seem to keep that seems to be a trend too now. Like after a year or two of like teams being together, they want to separate them and create this friction between them.
Yeah, because aside from the Usos and New Day, no one's made it past 5 years, let alone 10.
Maybe the Street Profits are just maybe get and and people clamoring for that to break up. I see
And,
why.
and they're hugging that 5 to 7 year mark too.
Hmm. Yeah, so it's like the teams of the last 2 years. Like I always felt you should have never took. What was the? I mean, what I need your honest opinion. Was there really money in Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes at that point? Like, cause I thought we could have kept them together and still been separate. Like, yo, look, you know what I'm saying? Go do your
No,
thing.
because even now, I think Rick Williams would be in no different than a Johnny Gargano spot or even Angelo Dawkins spot to where they're just lost in the shuffle. Yeah, you have one guy who seems like the total package, and you have the other guy who's just the other guy. Like this, like the running gag with most tag teams. Are you the Shawn Michaels or you the Marty Jannetty?
So now is that on us as fans? Cause I feel like us as fans, if it's not a team like the Creed brothers, and we obviously see a standout, we want that standout to be on his own. Like you said, like who's the Shawn, who's the Marty? I think when we see a standout, people
I think a part of it is definitely the fans, but I think it's like 49 and 51%. 49 being us, 51 being just you have dudes that are obviously on two different levels of ability.
just charge it to the game. Like
Yeah.
I could definitely see that because I feel sometimes when we have great tag team. I mean, I don't know why. Like with again, we go back to Otis. Kind of took away Tucker from him, gave him a singles run, and then
It was working, and then, but no, yeah, that's a little different because again, Vince has never really been fond of tag teams because in his mind they just don't draw money when other teams have shown otherwise, other promotions have shown otherwise that it can work. It's just you got to invest in it. Because again, if we're looking at tag teams outside that have been around for over 10 years, shit, Motor City Machine Guns have been around for almost 20. Girls of Destiny, they're probably on the 6, 7 year mark themselves. War Machine, the Viking Raiders, over 10 years. Look at Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, almost 20 years.
mm-hmm.
Red Dragon, 10 to 15 years.
Nah, that's
It can
that.
work, but you just got to invest in it. But some folks know how to invest in tag teams, some don't. Not all tag teams are meant to be in factions, and not all tag teams are meant to last forever.
I don't know. I just think that
But
they need to either let Finn and JD drop them shits and like I don't know. It's just all
and
this
that's the
like
problem.
this.
There's no one to drop them to.
Too. See, if you ain't have the
Um,
Creed
um,
brother, if
um,
you ain't have the Creed brothers tied up in this YS6 shit, I think they would have
that could
been
have been a
great
team.
champions.
I still think that they're gonna ultimately dump the belts back on the Usos. But again, what do you do after that? Reunite them when they face the Gorillas at Mania? Like that's probably the only logical response
Yeah,
for the sake of the divisions.
and it's that would be history repeats itself.
But again, I like to say it's for the greater good. It's best for business. There's only so much TV time for folks, and only so many opportunities. At least if you unify them again this time, you could take these singular tag team belts to Japan, to Mexico, to Europe, to TNA, and
I
defend it
just feel
that
like
route.
I can't name too many tag teams on Raw, but off the top of my head, if I'm thinking, you got AOP. You still have the New Day, which let's say you can have their breakup happen in the tag team match versus the Judgment Day. Like, damn, we've won so many tag team championships and we can't even get it together. You know, like they could be shit, but you got Finn tied up with Damien. So it's like now we're gonna have Finn working.
You just want Awesome Truth to get their run back one more time.
Fuck no. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. I think it was you or somebody that said, bro. I'd rather have R-Truth help Damian Priest with this side quest right now and getting back.
You might get that too.
I'd way rather much that him versus JD Part 6. I'd rather Truth and JD going at it again. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. I just feel like it'd be more valuable. Like, I didn't like the cop out tonight. Oh, yeah, I'll face you, Damien, if it's in a tag team match. Like,
Well, again, this was one of those statements where this was strictly for the fans because they've been clamoring for it for weeks.
And yep, that's a fact. And it was like a character flex. Like, if I'm looking at Finn, he's trying to pull a flex on Damien. Like, you ain't got no friends. You ain't even gonna get a tag team partner for this match.
And his matches and even Rhea's matches, they've been chanting one 4-letter word in each match. Exactly. But again, that match was fun. The real treat of Berlin was the main event. And it didn't just start with the opening bell. It started with Ludwig Kaiser sneaking in from the crowd, taking the mic from Samantha Irvin and introducing Gunther in German. That was a treat. The crowd they're like, all right, all the book before, fuck all that. Now this is perfect.
I'm not gonna lie, the ambiance of that main event, you even seen the camera work was different. That camera on Randy when he came out, that was a whole different camera that been used the whole night. At least in my eyes, it felt like that.
And they've only used that camera for certain moments. And like I said, Randy's entrance was it was a treat. Like from the camera angles to the strobes in his entrance to the crowd, like I said, singing the chorus in unison. This was one of the few times where they brought the decibel counter, and the decibel counter was damn near hugging the 110 plus range. All it was just special.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it had that ambiance of a big match. Like, it's not a lot of big match feels like that. Yeah,
There's not.
Again, Cody and Kevin didn't have this feel to start off the night. This right here, though, even though it's like a home game. So, but again, like you said, the reaction for Randy.
Everybody loves Randy.
Yeah, like
everyone has learned to appreciate Randy for those that didn't love him already. And a lot of folks, I think, were accepting of what if this is the match for number 15?
I'm not gonna lie, I started drinking the Kool-Aid because I had to go back and listen to something when the match was first announced, and I was like, Gunther's gonna finish him with a sleeper. That's what I said 4 weeks ago. The day before, I started drinking the Kool-Aid, and I was invested in Randy Orton. I had to stick to my I had to stick to my gun. The Kool-Aid was right. Everybody was stirring it. They put it right in front of me with nice ice cubes. You know what I'm saying?
All I said was, if they went the other way, would you have been surprised? That's all I said.
Nah, and no, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying like the way WWE was presenting it to me, like it's kind of like, nah, Randy really ready to get this moment back. That's how I felt. Like I'm like, wow, like yo, they really giving me the Kool-Aid right now. They bringing the history back. Like yeah, my name was the last one on that World Heavyweight Championship. Like I started my
He was WWE's last World Heavyweight Champion
yeah, like we start getting
12
in
years
that.
ago.
That's what had me changing my thoughts for a second. But once I seen the conclusion, again, when he bring that type of finish to Damian Priest, like, nah, dog, I ain't playing no more games with y'all, bro. No more power bombs. I'm going straight for the kill. Sleeper. Oh, the standing sleeper's not working. All right, well, you thought you got out of this. We're gonna finish you on the ground sleep. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm
And
really putting your ass to sleep.
it's so powerful, bro, because you know, like to not break the kayfabe, we all know what's going on, right? But to see like somebody go lifeless, so to speak, they limb just drop. That's to me, I was like, oh yeah, he finished him. Like you can't. There's no way that you can fight this. Like even Damian Priest, when he fought out the first one, Gunther put him right. He cinched that shit right back in. You're
And
not
also,
getting
it's very rare for referees who aren't accustomed to the MMA style of combat to be familiar with seeing when someone is out, but they're not fully out all the way until they can call it safely.
all those attention to details right there. Cause I knew when it was out for that last moment, like you said, the ref he just lightly picked up Randy's arm, like just I knew it was over. It wasn't gonna be that historical.
Just by gripping the arm, you could tell if they're out or not.
hmm So I
But
thought it was a
I
beautiful
did
match.
not like how they had similar gear. That's my
Yeah,
only pet peeve about that match.
I wanted to say that earlier, but we was talking about something else. But Randy's red trunks threw me off. Gunther, that shit, he kind of had burgundy, so for me it lines up for him. But the Randy with the red trunk, I'm like, damn, that's some real WrestleMania red right there. Like that's
No,
really
it's not. It's just like you guys are oppositions. Why have the same color shit? Maybe they didn't know they're both rocking red or whatever. I get that, but that's just my only pet peeve about the match.
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't never want to see the two same sports teams wearing the same colors. That's why there's an away color and a home team color. Like it looks weird on the court. You know what I'm saying, or on the field. Well, whatever game you're watching, it's done for a certain reason, in my opinion, and it makes it easier to keep track of everything. Like you know, so I thought they could have did somebody could have changed the trunks. You know, Randy to me isn't. I don't usually see Randy in red, so for me, I felt like it was he jumped out.
We see Randy and Red a couple times, but it's not for just any reason.
Right. So that's why I'm like the same WrestleMania Randy. Like I feel like did he wear the red trunks when he did the moment with Seth Rollins? I feel like he
Yes,
had. I feel like you feel. So I felt like damn, like he trying to go WrestleMania. Like this is WrestleMania.
this would have been a time to communicate with the hey, what colors you wearing? What colors you wearing? All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that you ain't lying though, cause I'm an outfit guy. That's saying when I was a kid growing up, Shawn Michaels had some of the best, and you could date any Shawn Michaels ever really, but I date
He's also
he
had one of the worst fits too. Let's not
the
brush that
Brown.
aside. Yeah, the doo-doo Browns up there with the Undertaker alligator pants. They're like some of the greatest of all. Also were some of the worst.
Hell yeah. I could definitely feel you on that because I was not in agreement with that shit. Like the brown, I was trying to find ways to justify it, but like, no, the blue on it. Yeah, nah. This shit ain't
Even
hit.
watching it now, you're like, yeah, that was
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, nah. I was a real fan of his DX outfits when he'll have like the same heartbreak logo with the X in them. I was like, I
Hmm.
thought those were dope, even just with the Texas flag in them. I was
Yep.
always like, yo, those shits are mean right there. Like, so I'm a fit guy too. I fuck with it. How you feel about the whole pay per view? Is it like I've seen a lot of people saying 7 out of 10?
Yeah, again, that's probably a fair score. It was a fun watch. Like a lot of their off shows are. Like it was a fun 2.5 hours, 3 hours. You liked
You
what
know
you
what I was really
liked. You
surprised?
knew what to be alright with.
I was surprised that a lot of people was asked to put on. I don't know the exact time limit of every match, but it felt like every match was about 18 minutes plus. Like
Yeah,
they,
they're all about they're about 20 minutes, give or take.
yeah, they were lengthy matches, and like for some of them,
Some
I
of
want
them
to.
didn't be as long.
So yeah, like I felt like the
Had they crunched it down to a 2 hour show, you probably could have got away with that. But again, it wasn't bad.
I was just surprised because I'm not accustomed to seeing just 5 matches like this and all of them probably run around at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, okay, but I want to say I can't agree with everybody and say it's a 7 to 10. I might give it a 6 out of 10, and the reason being is I didn't agree with some of the finishes, and I got to see where the results of the next few weeks lie. You know what I'm saying? I got to
See
see
how
what
these stories
happens.
age and progress.
Yup. I got to definitely see that because we got to see where Cody goes from here, where Kevin goes from here. What happens with the women tag team championships? We seen tonight on Monday Night Raw what's happening with CM Punk and Drew, and I'm glad that they didn't just allow CM Punk to just walk into the title picture like that. Honestly,
Oh, we just jumping in that, aren't we?
I mean, we can
Because I
because
got a lot to say about this segment.
fire it up because I'm glad that they didn't let. I felt the crowd was a little bit flat for CM Punk on like he was like kind of like saying things and then looking for a reaction and once again and then he'll continue with his promo and stuff. But
I
I'm
mean,
glad
I was in there flat there. They were loud for him, but yeah, you could definitely tell that he expected more.
more, just a little bit more. That's what
And I was like, no, what more are you expecting? I mean, like, but also Denver, they're a tricky crowd at times. I mean, they're not there very often. They got they're coming off the cusp of a PLE the night before with No Mercy, which was fine. It wasn't bad, but it was fine. There was a couple moments there, but same venue, back to back nights. That's always going to be tough for any event.
and I think I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like with CM Punk and Drew, or maybe just that rivalry. I don't know what it is, but I think the crowd getting a little restless with just seeing CM Punk come out on Mondays and just speak like he's only been wrestling at the PLEs.
Well, I mean, hearing to speak is one thing, but I think it's the length of time that he's getting is probably what's maybe deterring some people away because you're giving him a shitload of real estate on TV before if this stuff happens or nothing happens at all. So he's getting a good amount of time. So
And
I think if they're going just for that, it's like, all right, we this is like you said, this is all we really see. A match on occasion would be nice, but he comes out, basically says the same thing, similar to Cody, says the same thing week after week, and it just comes off as, eh.
yeah, like we know you're gonna pander to the crowd a bit, shout out something historically from the hometown that you're in. All right. Now get it back onto business, back on track. And
But what probably kind of stirred people away was him calling out Gunther.
yeah, I felt like, are you ready for that? Like, just you beat Drew, granted, okay, but are you
Gunther
really
is on a different level right now.
different?
Now Gunther's always been different, but
I mean,
again,
Gunther handled Drew
down
and
down the
Sheamus in the
road,
same match.
down the road, I'm not mad at it because as we learn later in Raw, that they're slowly planting these seeds for Gunther and Cena. That's what all this screams to me. Like, okay, whenever he got past Randy, got past Cena, for sake of competition, say he gets past Brock. Well, who's left?
Yeah.
That's what this is telling me. Which again, I'm not mad at, but why now?
I mean, and it seems like I seen a post on Twitter where, like, I guess Stone Cold and Kurt Angle fought over the ECW or WWF Championship on a random episode of Raw, right? And it seems like they doing a good job at like showing us that they defend, but keeping them away from defending on a weekly basis. And I'm not saying I need to see them defend on a weekly basis, but I just feel like, okay, in the midst of this and that, we'll still see them in the ring. We just be seeing in-ring promos.
Let me ask this question then. With regard to Gunther being the world heavyweight champion, should he defend regularly like a Seth Rollins, or would we be okay with him not wrestling all the time and having a schedule similar to a Roman Reigns? Like I say, keeping him special.
I think with him, yeah, somebody they got to put it in place. Like, I didn't really like how Sami Zayn just came out here. Oh yeah, I want to challenge you.
Oh no, no, I thought that was ass.
Yeah, like, so I think like if he is gonna sit and chill, I want him to kind of do like what they did it with Braun Breaker now, so you can't really do it again with Gunther. But I would like to have Gunther scout. I mean, you probably can, it'll be better. But I want Gunther to actually scout the competition. Like, this is his sacred ring. He's seeing who's worthy.
Give me a reason why I should put the boots on.
There you go. This whole little, like, I was happy when he told Sami Zayn, nah, you're not getting an opportunity at this championship. My answer to you is no. I was so happy. But then they did I knew this moment was coming. He walks up the ramp and Sami, you know, oh, I'm the only one that beat again with the cap. I'm the only one that beat you in this ring.
And from the main roster, what he said.
Man.
But again, it's like, what has Sami done besides get his ass up by Braun Breaker? If anything, Sami probably should have been in this tournament instead of Braun Strowman. That would have made more sense than having Braun in it. Because again, once you have wanted to see a moment to where next week, Jay is still Sami Zayn staring each other down in the middle of the ring while the other two competitors are outside of the ring, just knocked out or whatever. It's just Jay and Sami locking eyes. The winner they're gonna challenge Braun for the IC belt. The loser goes home.
That's another thing. They went away from their whole little interaction that they had. For now, like, they got Jay with Damian Priest now after saying, yo, Sami, we're gonna get the belt Judgment Day.
They could go back to Sami and Jay together. Hopefully they don't. Because the sooner you get Jay back with Jimmy, the better. But again, what are you gonna do with Sami that makes it actually worth watching?
I don't know, but the first thing I could think about when he's cutting his
think about it. I mean, yeah, Sami versus Punk's gonna be fun to watch, but that's gonna be after Drew versus Punk. So
I gotta look at how old Sami Zayn is. I ain't gonna lie, like,
him and Punk about the same age, mid-30s, maybe close to 40.
Sami Zayn is 40 years old.
Punk's definitely in his 40s.
CM Punk is 45. This is what I'm saying. Like, I know, like, Bobby Lashley don't got the popularity that a Sami Zayn got and all that, but believability to me is just I never really, but and then the older he got, made it worse for me with Sammy. Like I don't think like the Beast comp, you're not really like a heavyweight champion to me. Like you
What
did
was
good with the
it?
Intercontinental shit.
Well, Sammy, KO, even last respect, they're all in that same category. And like, you're the same dude you've been for the last 20 years. What's changed? What's different? How have you evolved your character?
And this is what I'm saying though. For me, out of believability, Bobby Lashley, out of them three, he the one that's like he actually won the champ. Well, now that's Vince is doing right. But within the last 5 years, he actually held the heavyweight belt between the three.
Oh no. KO was Universal Champion too.
That was 8 years ago though. That's what I'm saying. In
Uh,
recent time, Bobby just won and lost to the whole little Brock and Big E shit.
but yeah, but both of them were under the Vince umbrella.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Whereas Sammy, yeah, he was there, but again, what was Sammy doing? The Che Guevara conspiracy theorist guy.
I think he's a fan favorite, and Triple H he's with the fan favorites right now. And that's not to
So,
say a bad thing, but
well, it
it
can
can
be
explain.
because
It
well,
can
what I'm
explain.
it can be because what I'm about to say right now. He's about as useful as Johnny Gargano.
Sammy,
Yeah,
I mean, I see the usefulness. I think Sammy's better
if
than
if
him, but
if you break it down, well, he only looks better because he's bigger than him.
right, all right, yeah,
But if
yeah. I
you
mean,
want to
that's
break it
yeah.
down, they have the same level of purpose.
I think, and then Sami Zayn to me, I enjoyed him as a comedic relief. To be honest, like when he was with the
Okay,
bloodline and he
so
was that shit,
he's as useful as R-Truth and Miz,
yeah, that's how I
which
did
is even
look at him.
worse than what I said.
Gargano to me, I'm not like it's Gargano. Like at least those dudes though, they could win like a US belt or
Johnny
IC belt.
same face.
Gargano though, he ain't even he got the tag
If you
team
know, you
belts.
know.
Man, like I ain't gonna lie though, them dudes is like Sami Zayn though. I can't put him on a platform of like the real heavyweight contenders for me.
Shit. I thought I was harsh.
Nah, I can't. Even when like he was teasing fighting Roman for the title. He fight Roman for the title?
I want to say yes, they did have a match.
Yeah, like I wasn't like I understand why they did that, but I wasn't really I looked at that like a burner match too. Like I didn't look at that like, oh, Sami Zayn walking out as champion.
Because yeah, that might have been early in that whole debacle, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like for me, I don't know. I'm not really in favor of Gunther versus Sammy, especially not no damn bad blood. Like
I'm not in favor of Gunther versus Punk either, but yet here we are.
that part. I'm trying to get
But
my notes right over here. My page just refreshed on me.
but back to that segment. I mean, again, yeah, it was a fine promo, but the follow up with Drew just beating the dog shit out of him. We finally got it, folks. The bracelet has been destroyed.
Mm.
How
I
do you feel
did it
about
feel.
that?
I was about to say it felt underwhelming today
How so?
because now we gotta wait for CM Punk to be on Hots. I felt like
Well, sure. Braun Strowman came back after getting fucking put through a car last week.
I just thought it would have like for me personally, it'd have meant more if he would have broke the bracelet before the strap match.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah, and they could have had the same result. CM Punk winning, and then Drew coming out like, "Nah, dog, you thought this was over because you beat me."
So similar to what I hoped for, to where they're in the strap, whatever. Maybe they're all bleeding. Also, real quick before I get to that, did you notice that Drew had pulled the bracelet out of his nutsack, and Punk ends up kissing the bracelet after the match?
Nah,
Oh, the internet was going in on that this weekend and today.
I kind of like it. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it was in my mind, but I didn't really like. I was just like, he probably slipped up. But I'm like, now that you mention it, I'm like, yeah, because I always noticed Drew did that
If
shit
you
with
if
his
you go
bracelet.
back and watch the match where he pulls out the bracelet, pulls it out of his jockstrap, and
Yeah,
then
that's
fast
some
forward to
wild
the
stuff.
end, Punk's like this. Ah.
Yeah, that's wild stuff right there. I ain't gonna lie.
But again, the bracelet is done. Would this moment have meant more in the strap match? Probably, but again, like we've touched on, it's very hard to get a strap match over, and it's because most of them, they're just not that good.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was fine. Not saying it was great, it was fine, but yeah.
Now that match was it was all right, and then again it led to that moment tonight where I felt like Drew breaking the bracelet. It meant a lot. Don't get me wrong, but when he did it, you done teased it so many times that actually doing it tonight didn't surprise me. You lost the last match, so now you're being petty as fuck. It would have meant more to me when you had possession of it, and you was just fucking with him. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just fuck with your head. Like, you know what? Fuck this bracelet.
Did it need to happen earlier? Yes. Did it mean less today? I'm gonna lean towards no. It's just
And you spoke
I'm
about
not,
just seeing red, right? We got red in
yeah.
a corny way. He fucking puts the beads in CM Punk's mouth, continues to beat him down. We see him being strapped to the gurney, getting put in the ambulance in the back. Drew McIntyre continues his assault.
How many claymores did you hit him with?
A lot. The one by the table at ringside was to me, that was it. I'm like, yo.
That first one was nice, and even I don't know if it was Wade or Joe Tessitore. They touched on Punk awkward landing to where maybe he had some spinal damage because how he bounced and how he was laying. And
Mm,
Joe, being a sports guy, might have noticed that maybe.
mm.
But again, hell of a spot. If say the match with that bad blood or whatever, you're going to do it that soon, or even wait till Survivor Series. Either way, I'm not mad at it. But if it's anything but a Hell in a Cell match, would that be detrimental?
Uh, I'm not sure, man, because it's like I
Damien,
think.
I agree.
I mean, I
Again,
think they get their blood in the Hell in a Cell match for sure, and then that should end it right there.
but again, like, so we're gonna get a third match, obviously, but yeah, I mean, say Hell in a Cell, Steel Cage, whatever. If it's anything but that,
What if they do the
will
three
that
stages of
hurt?
hell?
You could do that too, because again, like I told you privately in Snakes in the group chat, this, and I'm not counting the NXT stuff. This is undoubtedly the most violent feud we've had in WWE since Triple H Shawn Michaels, who had the only three stages of the Hell match in WWE history. Say it was three stages of the Hell, a Hell in a Cell, or Steel Cage match. Anything but those stipulations. We'll even throw a last man standing. Anything else than that, will this hurt the feud?
It can, in my like What are you thinking in mind other than those matches? Like you thinking like
a regular street fight and a sanctioned match,
that shouldn't be
a no holds barred match.
that we can't do that. We need something high stakes. Like you said, it got to be last man standing, ambulance match. It got to be Hell in a Cell.
I'm putting ambulance in category B now. I'll even go as far. I'll even go as far to say that a casket match would be a C tier match for this feud. Like you got to have these two in a confined area, whether it be a Hell in a Cell, steel cage. Ain't no running.
I mean, if we was really in that era, like CM Punk, we done seen Drew make CM Punk like bleed. What if you call for the first blood match? They got the bad blood. Like
Drew's made him bleed twice now. We're past that.
That's what I'm right. Like
that could be a C tier match. Like we've reached a certain level of hatred between one another that it's got to be a cage match of some sorts. Maybe a last man standing, nothing more, nothing less. Everything else is subsidiary because we've already gone past those extremes already.
And to me, that was the problem with the
I'll even go as far as to say an I Quit match isn't worthy of this right now.
That was my problem with the strap match. I knew the table got involved. So it's like if we see a no disqualifications match, like y'all really got to go crazy.
And that's why I said, like, instead of a strap match, you could have went a dog collar match. You could have went a Texas Bull Roar match, but they're in where the fuck were they? Berlin. You could have said there's regular Bull Roar match or whatever. Those two matches are similar to a strap match, but by definition of the rules, which they still didn't follow this stipulation, you win by submission, knockout, maybe pinfall. But you're just stuck together to where your only option is to handle your fate. But because you throw in the strap match where you got to tap each corner, you're adding in unnecessary bullshit.
I don't know. I felt like me personally, if I wanted to really like slow stroke it or do it differently, I'd have had them do a singles match, then the special referee match. Maybe not have done the strap match, and we still could get like one of those the ones that you now saying we passed, and it's a C tier now. Maybe they could have been upgraded to a B tier at this point, but because they jumped ahead so far, gave us a special referee match.
What was match one? A regular singles match?
I think it was the special referee match.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I mean, technically it's a singles match. You had these set bullshit, which was fine. But yeah, this match could have been the first blood match. This match could have been an unsanctioned match. If you're gonna have them with the strap, it could have been a bull or a dog collar match. There's other stipulations that would have benefited the story better.
Because technically, yeah, CM Punk won the match, right? But did your mission really get accomplished? You had to brace it back for a total of 2 days.
You could have had a submission match for all I care.
Like the point was to get the bracer back, inflict damage, and make this dude not want to fuck with you or remember your name. Drew McIntyre did none of that.
If anything, Drew whipped the shit out of you during the match with the strap. There was better options. That's all I'm saying. Much better options.
I personally this is probably me being wrong here. I think it would have not hurt CM Punk to lose every match versus Drew, and he had to accept that. Like you had to accept your first real L, then your bounce back story happens. Now you come back like, you know what? I tripped out over this situation. Let me get my mind right, get back in the game. this exchange between Drew won, now CM Punk won, now the bracelet is broken. After that, where do they go? It's like I feel like they're gonna be entangled for the foreseeable future. They're gonna keep fucking with each other. It's kind, they might have a year-long rivalry themselves that finally at WrestleMania might, come to its conclusion.
Okay, so then if that's the case, you could have a last man standing and it's a double count out. And you put the story on ice.
I like that.
Because that way it preserves both of them. You don't see them for a good couple weeks. Drew comes out, doesn't even acknowledge what happened the last couple months. Calls out Gunther, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You have a match with Drew and Gunther stay at the Rumble, whatever the fuck. Then you bring Punk back. And then you have Punk in the Rumble. Then you have Drew in the Rumble. And fire up right up again for Mania.
I like that. Because what my concern is, let's say Drew been getting kind of fucked around this whole half a year.
Just a half a year, you've been getting fucked up for 4 years.
Well, I mean, if you want,
Going 5.
Again, he had his pandemic moment, and then never really got together after that. They had him doing a bunch of random shit.
It's not his fault. Vince got bored of him.
Once they gave him the sword, it was crazy.
And he's been scratching, crawling to get away from that.
That's what I'm saying. So I really would have liked for him to really undoubtedly beat CM Punk every time. And it doesn't hurt CM Punk. He's the older competitor. He can afford this. He's already been at the top of the mountain hill.
And he's there, and obviously he's here to get Drew to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone says you can be here. All right, I'm here so I can help you get there. And again, this story has been magnificent thus far. But this stipulation particularly made him set that back a couple of notches.
And
versus where they could have been.
And in a reverse way, you know how Austin beat The Rock at Mania twice, but then the last time The Rock beat Austin, what I'm saying? And in a way, like, you could have had it where Drew beat him twice, broke the bracelet, and then CM Punk is like, he talks to Adam Pearce.
This ain't never over.
Yeah.
Or you have Drew come out, Punk says this ain't over, whatever. You took this from me, whatever the fuck, whatever you want to say. There were better options that would have helped both of them.
Mm-hmm. The breaking of the bracelet tonight, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked by it.
Like I said, all I said was it's about time.
That's how I felt about it. Finally, I think I wrote that. I said it finally. Wow, like you've been calling for that shit since he gained possession of it.
You're right, and yeah, like this is almost where the longer you waited, the more you risked damaging what it could have been with that moment. Imagine if that was in Berlin and Punk watches him snap that bracelet. And you just hear the crowd go, oh. Imagine if it's in that the special referee match and you have Punk and Seth watch Drew take the bracelet off and just go look at him go like this. Boom. There were more opportune moments. There were better again. Now again, like I said, the story's still fine, but there's a few options along the road that could have made everything so much more than what it is today. Missed opportunities is what they are.
Yeah, like, and it's gonna be very interesting to see what third match they go with. Like, do you feel it could hurt what they got going on?
Again, so Bad Blood is in 33 days. I don't want to see Punk for 3 weeks. Announce the match on the Go Home show. I don't want to see Punk until then.
Mm, that's crazy. Tonight's Raw was definitely interesting. Like,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was.
it to me. It was an easy watch. It didn't feel like, oh, I had to drag through it, but everything felt a little like all over the place and a little in a good way. Again, when I say they booking the shows, how remember last week they kind of led to something that didn't happen in the main event. This week we kind of we see they went back to that formula. Rhea Ripley opens the show,
Uh,
and that altercation kind of sets up the main event.
and again, nothing wrong with it because that's been the top storyline probably in the company, arguably.
Do you think she really like her? I don't think she really got hurt, but do you think she got hurt? It could
She might.
be.
She again. Those are cables, and we saw Priest was walking a little funny feet after that similar situation, but that was the middle rope. That shit hurt like a motherfucker. I promise you that.
Yeah, it was definitely like a wow moment. Like I didn't expect to see her get caught up on the rope like that.
And maybe she was meant to chase Dominic. Who knows?
Mm.
That's one you gotta just think on the fly. But hopefully nothing's broken. Hopefully she's okay. That was a moment. Oh, shit could have
This
went
is
south
probably
real quick.
this is probably a hot take, but I feel like not every storyline need to be long term. Like I feel like
Mm,
there's weeks where I'm just waiting for something to happen in the storyline, and it's kind of like, yeah, we gotta wait on everything though. Like on everything, we gotta wait.
well, normally I would agree to that, but like I said, this story, you can argue otherwise, but I can say this story rivals and supersedes the Bloodline story right now. This is the story in WWE.
I think what would have made it better is if Buddy Matthews was actually in WWE and Rhea could be with her. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have made it way more
That
better for me.
now, if Tony Khan wasn't paying folks to not entertain those offers from folks that want to leave AEW, I would agree to that. But again, if you're in AEW and you want to go to WWE, and Tony Khan is literally groveling at your feet, begging you to stay, I'm naming some stupid ass price and hope to God he doesn't want to honor it. But knowing Tony, he's going to honor that price.
That's what it looked like.
So again, like I said, when Buddy resigned, Buddy is making Roman Reigns money just to sit at home and do nothing except go to the gym, take care of the dogs, and make sure the house is clean when mommy comes home from work.
It's just because it's something like I know there's money there with Liv, Dom, and Rhea, but the only equation that I really don't like so much in there.
Priest is the unfortunate, like the red herring, like the odd man out.
Mhm. Especially with the little inclusion of like how she had to go get Jay. Well, not had to go get Jay, but like Jay was the person she decided to call on for help today.
Well, I mean, again, that was to a degree some long term storytelling right there because if you go back to the Gen One Bloodline stuff, they had the little moments off rip whatever during their segments when she came back, whatever when she saw from Dom. who went to Priest saying mom is single, whatever. He trying to holla. It was Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Jay's trying to put out there, hey, if you need me, I got you. All you gotta do is come pull up an ass and just holla. I got you. Rhea Go said, hey, I need you for the saver. Like you said, I can't tell Rhea no.
And
I
then
know
that's what I'm
folks are be
saying.
going. I know folks are going this way and that way about that one line alone. But again, it's like, hey, I'm a ladies' man. I was raised to treat them respectfully. I can't tell a pretty lady no. She needs to pull up and handle some business. I got her.
Mm-hmm. I just rather see like Jay entangled with the Braun break and stuff, right? But it make more sense for him to be with the
We'll get
Rhea
to
Ripley
that.
shit. Mm-hmm.
That we will get to that later on because that deserves its own little moment right there. But again, hopefully Rhea's okay. I don't think that they would have had a follow segment with her if anything was serious. So that was a promising moment right there.
Now we get after that segment, we get American Made versus Alpha Academy. Again, I feel like the slow stroking.
I said it last week. I hope to God this was done. I
Oh no.
prayed this was done. The match was fine. Again had some cool little moments. You had Cesaro getting tossed by Otis. You had Maxine with that very impressive reverse caterpillar. We got to the finish. The first thing he does is call out Uncle Howdy to an eight person street fight next week.
We fucking called that shit.
Why? I don't care about this.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm looking forward to next week is seeing Nikki Cross in action. That's it.
My only issue
Everything else.
is not actual Uncle Howdy and them and the Y6. My issue is that Gable remains like he could go through all of this shit with them and he's back on television the next week. Like it feel like he's stronger and more powerful. Like he just don't care. No fucks given with Gable.
Yeah.
And then that kind of kills the. I'm be honest. That kind of kills the. For me, it kills the. You want to challenge them to a match, like you tough. You challenge them to a match. You have the actual match. Every time the lights cut off, y'all get scared. But y'all scared of. Y'all already called like. To me, it has the opposite. Again, remember when I said the Undertaker? When boom, the lights go off right behind you. He's tall, standing, menacing over you. They're not giving that
Or
vibe with the selling.
or even in the mid 2000s when Kane got unmasked. Once he hit the power from the corners, you knew shit was on.
Mm-hmm. For real.
And again, this was one of my big concerns with the YS6 is the moment you mortalize them, the moment you risk ruining everything that the hype of whatever this is supposed to be. Again, are they meant to be a serious team? Is this solely a tribute act? Now is that where you start solidifying those lines and they're still bouncing back and forth. Like, what do you want this to be?
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, like I said, you've kept Nikki Cross special in all this, which is great. We get to see her next week for the first time in probably a month, which again I'm looking forward to. But it's after this, like seriously, what the fuck are we doing after this? Because after next week, we better not see any more follow from this. It better be Wyatt six on top or whatever, and then that's it. Chad Gable never has Wyatt six or any, Bo Dallas name in his mouth ever again.
Yeah, like again, I feel like the way that they make them more impactful in my eyes is if the talent that they run, they shouldn't really be caught up in this weekly like getting called out. If they the ones to inflict, they should be the
They should pop out whenever they feel necessary.
yes. They should be the instigators in the situation. It became Chad Gable's the instigator. Like, you know what? Fuck all the tapes. Fuck all the. Nah, I want the smoke.
And like I said, you immortalized the Wyatt six. Whatever this is meant to be, or whatever this was thought to be based on or inspired by, you're just ruining. You're making like everything else.
It's just it's something that's rarely been done in wrestling, so it's a very fine line to be tippy toeing because I remember vividly like whenever things happened with the Fiend during the first run, and even when he came back, I remember there was times that people were growing restless with the Uncle Howdy reveal and where things were going with that after the LA Knight feud. And then Bray just randomly called out Bray Wyatt, or I mean Bray called out Bobby Lashley, I meant to say, or Brock Lesnar, whoever was the winner of that match. Like people were
Yeah,
kind of
that was a
growing
little weird
restless.
too.
People were kind of growing restless around that time period. So it's kind of like it's a weird. It's I think maybe weird is not the right word, but it's a unique approach with this group of talent. You know what I'm saying? And how the other talent got
We
us
are
out.
approaching the same issues the last entity had, and we are seeing the same end result, which could ultimately hurt the character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I got to think after some time, there's going to be a point where the cryptic messages don't feel as special no more.
Right?
And then why is that? Because we see what's happening with like the significance of gay. Like to me, it's like okay, the family you talk part your Alpha Academy, but there's bigger fish to fry than Gable.
Like, why wasn't last week the blow off when you had the one on one? Why have the one on one? It was not the blow off.
And who's sitting out of this 8-man match?
You started with the 6 man between the men, then it went to the one on one. Now we're going to do an 8 person. So Uncle Howdy probably be the one sitting out, and it'll be Gacy, Rowan, and Loomis. So we're gonna have the same match we have for the debut, but you're gonna have Nikki Cross in the match now and Furniture. It's gonna be the same match as their debut.
Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the. I thought we was gonna get something else happening for. I thought like honestly, I thought we might further Otis and Gable here. Like, feel like they. I don't even think they're gonna go to that at no point.
I think that's long gone, to be honest now.
It definitely is.
Like they're so far past that, it's not even funny.
Especially when Gable done went and got the Creed brothers, it's kind of like you done leveled up. And Otis is still there with Tozawa and Maxine Dupree. It's like, yeah, Gable done leveled up. He found the new kids on the block.
Which is a shame.
And they kind of got a fire name, like American Made. It fits them.
And why is Alpha Academy still called Alpha Academy?
Because Gabe, and that's another level up or flex. Gable said, y'all can have that name.
Again, why are they still called the name?
Right, like even more how like he just shitted on them. So even if Otis wanted to get that lick back, he could be like, I don't even want to fight you. I'm good. I moved on. They just made it weird too with the whole interactions with the Y6 where Gable still tried to recruit Otis and Otis just ain't put it on him.
Right.
Like, bro, get out of my face. I'm not helping you.
They should have already had their one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're still meant to have their one-on-one, Gable should be calling out Otis, and the YS6 should just be in limbo, us waiting for them to come out, for us going on the internet saying when are they going to be bagged and stuff like that. Create the buzz for them. They don't need to be out every week. You could have kept them as a once a month thing. That would have been just fine. Like I said, how serious you want this to be? Has the Y6 had a day off since their debut yet on a Raw, or have they been at every Raw since their debut?
It feel like they've had some inclusion, whether by videotape or
They may have missed maybe one Raw since then, maybe. There was no need for this.
it felt a little odd too. Them coming on in the first hour. Like, it's not even the first hour or the matter of the first hour. It was just a placement of it. Like, coming on the match after the first segment of the show. And again,
It
after we
seemed
thought it was
rushed
a
in it.
blow. Yeah, just a bit. I honestly, I don't know if Uncle Howdy said anything of substance. I just felt like shit was like an Ultimate Warrior promo. To be honest, I felt like I was listening to Galaxy Talk. The cryptic messages.
With the random.
You gotta call it, right?
Warrior.
Yeah. Gotta call it. Yeah, I thought it was just like, Uncle Howdy, that's him. I felt like that was him trying shit, going back. He sounded a lot like Bray for real. So it's like, he's tapping into that bag.
And
Was
again,
it needed though? I don't know.
that part was fine, but
You know what? They could have just stopped at Gable calling them out. We didn't even need. You're right. We didn't even need to really see Uncle Howdy appear at the stage to.
let them call you out for 2-3 weeks, something. Build it up. Like I said there were other options that were better than what we ended up proceeding.
I mean, at this point too, like, remember when we were speaking about them fighting for championships? I think I don't want to say they may need to, but that'll really make them like, if you can at least give them the tag team championships, take that away from the Judgment Day, and then these other tag teams like just looming around, they just keep running through them. We might have like, I think it'll mean a little bit more too. They can't be stopped.
Yep, and then there's that.
Yeah, because it's the what's going on right now with all of these matches and they lose but still want the run back a different way. I'm not in favor of that. I'd rather fresh matchups. What like this should have been it. This should have been them moving on to now they could go on to the final testament. Oh, y'all been trying to mess with the New Day.
New Day, Final Testament, anybody. Which goes back to my point earlier in the show. Each brand doesn't have a tag team division.
They just have like 2 or 3 tag teams, if that.
You've had this problem for over 20 years. There is no purpose in splitting the belts if you don't have the bodies on each show to defend each belt regularly.
Yeah. And I
It's just
feel
a
like
fact.
it's hard to feel like to me it's hard to believe that wow they don't have enough tag teams. Like I find
Yeah,
that
you have
hard to
plenty of
believe.
singles guys, just no tag teams.
Like that's crazy. Cause when I look at NXT, right, I'm thinking like, yeah, you're gonna tear their tag team division down, but at the same time, that's what it's there for. It's there to build. You got a bunch of signed talent that
But
are arguably probably just learning at the moment.
but if they're meant to be their own brand now, and Level Up is just the developmental now.
The
Say
hell
you
happened
put
to
a
the
couple
Good
of,
Brothers?
but again, back to what I was gonna say. You have NXT, Raw, SmackDown. Those are your three brands, and then you have Level Up as the developmental now. Okay. Say you take some tag teams from NXT and put them on Raw and SmackDown. It's still not enough teams for 2 sets of belts, or even 3 sets of belts, whatever you want to call it. It's not enough teams. Their best shot is, find the tag belts for all three brands, just like the women do, and having those belts defended as needed be.
I'm trying to think right now. Like they got Gallus on NXT.
You have
Edge.
Gallus, you have the Good Brothers, you have OTM, you have Faxium, you have fuck the family, you have MSK, or technically the Rascals from TNA. You have all these teams, potentially the Motor City Machine Guns.
That's what I'm saying. They could throw a few on Raw, SmackDown.
But again, the fuck you gonna do with them?
That's the problem.
And back to my point, like it's better for you guys long term to just have one set of belts for all three divisions.
But then I ain't gonna lie, you let the bloodline get a hold of that, it's over.
What's wrong with having the bullet on Raw and NXT?
I don't know why they took them off the Usos in the first place. I felt like they should have never did that. I felt like they should have made new belts for them the same way they did for Roman.
Exactly.
That's what I thought was gonna happen. Thought they was gonna get one single belt.
And then imagine if you have the tag belts on Nia Jax and Naomi. Bloodline got all the gold.
Yep, that's
It
what I
writes
thought.
itself.
I didn't understand the whole them dropping Sammy and Kevin, and then Judgment Day beating them, and then the splitting of the belts. That whole process.
It was dumb.
The coolest part was getting new belt designs. That's about it. But everything else that came out of that,
Yeah, you had a cool WrestleMania moment. You had one that this year's man. People, look where that got you.
cool match, cool moments.
And it got you nowhere. If anything, instead of going this way, you went fucking that way.
Because I'm gonna be honest, the other belts were ugly, the red and the blue shits, but already they held more prestige because what they were going through than with these belts. Like these belts ain't really got like maybe the SmackDown ones now that they're in the hands of the Bloodline, the prestige is getting there, but the Raw shit has no prestige.
So did the penny belts, but we're not talking about things that matter.
That's my issue with putting one belt though. That was the one tag team belt era.
But again, look at that mirrors. You had the New Day and Usos. You might have had Team Hell No. Who else do you have? The Shield. That was
Kofi,
it.
and Evan, maybe
Yeah.
before that.
No. Well, you had Airborne before New Day, but still, like New Day's are for the penny belts too. But again, 4 teams. That's all you had. Whereas
Them,
now,
them belts was
whereas
trash.
now you have anywhere from 12 to 15 teams. However, as it's been proven, 5 teams across 3 different shows each isn't enough for 3 whole divisions. It's not enough. And again, nothing against each show. It's just one of those things. It just happens. So it's in their best interest to have one set of belts for 3 shows now. It's working for the women. Let the men follow suit.
Yeah, they need to figure that shit out. Them tight with them belts right there.
Something.
Let's see. Dominic, Ilya, and Dragon Lee in the #1 contenders match for the
Oh, that
Intercontinental
was funny.
Championship.
That was funny. I'm not gonna lie. You got Dragon Lee looking like a damn DLC character from Mortal Kombat walking to the ring and shit with all that fucking shit on.
Yeah, that would. I mean, it surprised me. I like. Oh, he tried to show out tonight. Like,
Well, it was a fun match overall. I mean, we can say the right person won. I mean,
definitely.
it would have been nice for Dom to win if, but in all actuality, the appropriate person won the match.
I agree with that. I had Ilya winning this match. I felt like Dom could have made compelling cases, but the way that they had the interruptions tonight, you know what I'm saying? I see
Yeah.
how, yeah, I see how everything could have unfolded the way it did.
Well, and again, nothing wrong with it. It's just this was the right move. But again, the match was so fun to watch.
I don't know, something bothered me about like after the match though. We get the Kathy Kelly backstage with Adam Pearce. That's when we get Braun Strowman being announced that he's in the match, replacing Bronson Reed. That bothered me.
That was bullshit. That
That fuck.
segment took me. That segment took me out of the match entirely
Yeah. Ah.
because yeah, we get it, you're the monster among men, whatever. But like you were left for dead last week. You're back. Not even. Basically, you're back a week later. Like nothing happened. Pre should have just said, you know what? I'm not risking your health. You're not in the match. It's going to be a mystery person. Just plug and play anybody. Like honestly, like I said, I would have preferred Sami Zayn in the match before Braun Strowman.
And then Braun Strowman actually winning the damn thing. That's what had me lead to believe. Like last week, I said I got Bronson re-winning that shit. So I'm like, I feel like I don't know why Lou at that point though with this replacement, Ludwig took the pinfall. Pete Dunne interfered with Sheamus. So I'm thinking this is a perfect time to actually like give Ludwig the chance. Like, even though we're not gonna give him the belt, right? Like Gunther got the heavyweight belt, and we can tease. Hold
It
on,
would have been a better moment.
you understand? Like maybe Imperium is just damn dominant,
Yeah, exactly.
and also tease. What if Pete Dunne joining Imperium?
Or say even a Ludwig one. You could have Gunther cut a promo following. Say you skip the Sami Zayn stuff entirely.
Yep.
You have Ludwig win the match. You have Gunther cut a promo saying, like you said, Imperium. We're just that good. All we know is winning when it matters. All we know is having gold. Ludwig will follow suit.
Man,
That's simple.
I thought that's what I thought that would have been the perfect pivot, but they end up going with Braun Strowman winning the match, which leads me to believe when Bronson Reed is cleared by next week, he should be cleared by next week, right?
As early
That
as next week, yeah.
he's gonna have some interference in that fatal four-way match, or he'll probably take out Braun Strowman backstage, and then he'll be inserted into the match.
Um. Either way, I'm not looking forward to it because it's obvious the appropriate move is Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker.
Yeah, they got us. Like I'm pretty sure everybody's invested. They got a lot of us invested into that right now. Like they always know how to talk about family, and did Braun Breaker go insert in his family?
This back and forth was just money.
Yo, money.
From the starting of Braun doing the little yeet when Jay's cut from with Jackie to Braun just opening up with no one in your family, never beat anybody in my family. Kevion, my brother, I love you. That's my OG out here.
Kevion, I see you out there. Appreciate you stopping by. Definitely though, like there's so many ways they could have went with like other people, but they're just selling us right now on Jay and Braun. Like they're selling us so much that I kind of don't even care about the fatal four-way match. They kind of should have just gave us like, you know what I'm saying?
The table's already been set.
Yup, it's been set. Again, like I said it last week, there's a compelling case for Elliott to put on a great match with Braun. There's a compelling case for Jay to put on a great match with Braun. Who won the other qualifier last week?
Dom.
Who?
Did Dom win or lose his match?
No, Dom was in the one
Or,
this week.
yeah. So it's Jay. It's Ilya. Braun. Shows how important this is.
Right. I can't remember off the top. But it's because, again, it plays credence into what we're saying. Now we just invested into Jay. Once Jay won that match, it's like, oh, yeah. I kind of see him taking this all the way, especially with the back and forth. Let me see if I can get it over here. Hmm. I can't seem to get who won the other. It was Pete Dunne. That's right. Thank you, Kivion. It was Pete Dunne. That's the one with Xavier Woods
Mm,
and
that's right.
and the Miz. Thank you, Kivion. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was Pete Dunne. He snuck out of there with that. So look, even now that adds more fuel to the fire for why I don't think Pete Dunne is gonna win because he's entangled with Sheamus. He just cost the Sheamus his opportunity. You don't think Sheamus wants his lick back at costing Pete? So I don't really see him winning. Ilya got a good chance if they want to really put on. If this is a tease between Braun and Jay, like yeah, we want to just see how much y'all invested. But we know Ilya and Braun will put on a real crazy match. But we seen them recently tangle up too. So I think Jay and Braun is the more fresh. They got real like they could go real back to their family, like Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, Steiners. Obviously the bloodline. Like I really like that for them right there. The
So,
match. Mm-hmm.
before I go on, I'm trying to find some research as to why someone is missing from not only today's show but from the roster in general, and that's one Odyssey Jones.
Right.
There is speculation that his contract had expired today.
Mm.
Now, nothing has been confirmed. It's just a lot of folks are finding it strange that he's not on the main roster page nor the alumni page.
Maybe
So
they
that
trying
seems
to
to be.
maybe they're trying to work things out. But they acted pretty
Oh,
quick on that because we've seen other talent like kind of still be like you said on the alumni, whether they leave, they so it's a weird little like what's going on with it.
so some folks still think it's part of the New Day storyline, but others are going, oh, at least he'd be on the alumni page if that were the case. So that's a pretty good point.
I mean, and then I mean, if I'm not mistaken though, they just went from using him about 2 or 3 weeks in a row to the last 2 weeks he hasn't been used. Last week was the tournament, so I don't think he was featured last week either. And
He
if it
was on the
was,
show
it was
last
in a
week.
no, I don't think so. Unless it was a backstage segment, Kofi had his match and Xavier had his match. That's when they was wearing the opposite colors. The
That's right.
Xavier had
He was on the show last week. Yeah, so maybe he is gone. But again, we'll see.
no, he wasn't in the backstage. Yeah, Kevion said he wasn't in the backstage.
Hmm. Very interesting.
I definitely think it was interesting. Maybe they tried to like, maybe he gave hints of, maybe I'm gonna leave soon. They tried to get him some his name out there again or something. Who knows? Because I feel like this regime, this WWE regime, they're not afraid to let you get your name out there if you're on your way out. We've seen that with Ricochet. Like they, like he was featured with Braun Breaker. Like they could have just sat Ricochet as somewhere. Like I mean, obviously they wrote him off TV, but that's Hollywood. That's cinema. Any TV show, movie that can happen where if the contract negotiations ain't there, the character might get written off TV for now. And that's what happened with Ricochet, in my opinion.
Yeah, but obviously it was just being introduced.
Yeah, but I feel like with him too, it's kind of he was introduced out of nowhere. Like even though they gave us a while we was in the performance center, but that shit was so long ago that him just popping out now was, you know what I'm saying, was still random for me, even though they justified it. So I'm just trying to put
All,
shit together. Like why is yeah, like why is this happening now?
all I know is that Wood's saying it wasn't me.
Nah, and if they could definitely play into that, then that'd be crazy. But
You kind of have to now.
yeah, for real, like it's out there.
Plot twist, it
It-
was Karrion Cross.
It's just weird though that nobody has really like. I mean, I've tried to. I don't know what Odyssey Jones's social media page is. I tried to look for him on Twitter earlier, but
I find it interesting that this is all Twitter's been talking about today. That's more than just a coincidence.
the narrative is out. They pushing it.
Woods was asked by somebody before Ross started, and I haven't been able to see who was quoted to ask the question, but they just had Woods' quote.
Hmm.
But we'll see.
Just to continue into Raw, though, we had the Unholy Union versus Damage Control #1 contenders match. Some people were
What?
saying she got a eye injury in that match.
So I just checked Twitter not too long ago. She got cut just right below the eyebrow.
Thank God. Thank God it's just a cut.
I thought she was bleeding out of her ear.
Man, I seen the blood in her eyeball because I had kicked my DVR back when it happened. I was willing to sacrifice a few seconds. I'm like, no, I gotta see what spot went wrong. And once she hit off the table, you see the blood drip on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment that you said that had you laughing when she's like doing that shit to them, like, where she's smearing the
Yeah,
blood on her face.
she smothered her blood all over her face like make a little crimson mask.
Yeah, no, I thought that was her having her badass Becky Lynch moment. The only unfortunate part, that shit was self-inflicted.
Yeah. I was looking like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, that's when she jumped off the top rope and they tried to pull Bianca Belair into the
Mm-hmm.
move. And I don't know. I thought she protected herself, but I guess falling from that height, like just the impact.
Yeah, 'cause I saw Bianca. I'm I don't think I don't think their heads hit each other. I was like, so like, was she hit the corner or something or what?
It looked like on the way down from hitting the table, because she did hit the table. She tried to brace the impact with her hand, which I thought, but it wasn't
And
enough.
her hands were too far out or something like that, maybe.
Yep, that's what it appeared like when I kicked it back. That's definitely what it looked like. So I was like, damn. And I was just, I was just sitting here singing her praises last week, full form, and she just went too full form today. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not mad at it. I'm just like, shit. Like,
Again, though, protect yourself, right? I think, did they call this match an audible on the fly? Like, did she get hurt and it go the other way? Because what's the point of doing, like, I thought Damage Control was in pretty good position on the roster, like, to not have to
maybe
take
her
mm-hmm.
maybe her intent was to protect herself. It's just maybe where she had her hands planted were just a little bit too far out there where she aimed for. Should have or on impact, her arms slid out, and that's probably what busted her shit open.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, I thought Damage Control was gonna win this match. Like, I didn't think they were gonna go. Like, how many times? This is what I'm saying. Like, shit, even Belair and Jay was looking at her like, damn. They were. I'm trying to tell you, they like, damn. I didn't think they was gonna give us the run back with Alba Fire, Ala Dawn, and like we've been seeing them entangled for so long. I thought this is a chance to give us something, something new, different. Like,
if you think about it, they're 1-1.
yeah, but you know what kills it for me? When you have all of these other 6-man matches in between.
Yeah.
Have the Naomi and Blair Davenport inserted into the mix. It's kind of like, I feel like you guys are doing just a little too much now.
This is why we're getting the match on Raw and not Bad Blood in October when they're in Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah. Now this is so. What do you think happens next week? Do Alba Fire and Ala retain, or like do they get the titles back, or do
Well,
um? Yep.
if we're gonna finally start the feud between Bianca and Jay, I would hope you get the belts back on Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, but say Bianca and Jade retain, realistically, who's next?
Correct. That's how I'm looking at it. Like now they'll be tangled up with the same girls they've been tangled up with.
What do you do? Bring in what the fuck are they called? Fatal Injection when they haven't had a debut match on NXT yet.
Yeah.
Like all jokes aside, what are you gonna do?
I mean, nothing really, because there's no other female tag teams unless they want to do some crazy shit like Nia Jackson, Tiffy want to go after the belts for some reason. And now we have
Or with Charlotte and Bailey.
Charlotte and Bailey. I mean, that'll be different for
Because
sure.
again, realistically, there's not much you can do. Nothing against you guys per se. It's just how the division is set up to be.
Yeah, because I think I'm gonna be honest. Now that shit just came off the top of my head, though. I think you could do a lot with the Jade, Bianca versus Nia Jackson, Tiffany. It could do a lot there. A lot could be really done in that situation. Now it could be messy if you do it the wrong way. I say that.
And there's a lot of wrong ways with that matchup too.
But if done the right way, remember, well, I just mentioned the Shawn Michaels and John Cena, they were tag team champions and then fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship. And it was done beautifully. The only difference is Nia Jax will be having the tag team and the heavyweight, while Tiffany holds a tag team and the Money in the Bank. A different dynamic.
You might have something there.
And then we still get the Jade and Bianca stuff. We can still get everything. The only problem
Now,
with that scenario, who takes the belts from Tiffany and Nia when it's time?
exactly.
That's the only problem.
And we're still at square one.
Yup. Yeah. They're kind of facing the same problem that the men's division is facing, except they actually have one championship and it's still not enough.
Well, it's not enough. It's just who are you willing to elevate? Because with the women, they depend on NXT as well.
I think Pure Fusion Collective, that's the dark horse to me, because we just seen Damage Control on top. I think they passed they peak. Like they peak was having Bailey as their leader, and that was the best version of Damage Control I've seen.
That was a good one. Then you had what's it called? No, that wasn't a real tag team. Yeah, I say them or you have Fatal Injection, whatever. Maybe you have Metaphor defend. Maybe I don't know. Pair two women together.
Yeah, because Katana Chance and
Well,
Jaden.
you have them, but let's be honest, they're about as beneficial as DIY right now as a tag team.
Nah, they really at that bottom tier. Like if they might be my last pick of a tag team, like whatever's left. He said, yeah, damage control done. Pure Fusion up next, or bring someone up from NXT. Yeah, I think Pure Fusion, like, I don't like to admit that they growing on me, but they are badass. They are badass. It's just a fucking, there's some things that need working. They working.
Such as
There's times on the microphone where I feel like Sonya Deville, like she slips up a few times. Like I think she just needs to slow it down. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to rush it. Like just you hit your points, marinate, cook up. But sometimes, sometimes she trying to run and then she'll trip over one foot a little bit. She still got it. She's still running, but then you see that little stumble. They getting it together with the presentation too. I see they finally got they Titantron together. They doing efforts to coordinate they outfits. Yeah, I think they on that.
they're trying to make it look legit.
Yeah, you feel so. That's why I respect their little movement. And again, they got badasses. Like I always thought, Shayna Baszler should be a top person. Like if Asuka should be believed as a striker or like that bitch. Like so, I think Shayna Baszler like that too. Like she get busy.
Same with Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe's a beast too. It's just what we always say though about the character. They don't have that. Asuka's a fucking character. She got that charisma.
But also, like we said many a time, presentation generates perception.
Mm-hmm. It do. Like that gear that Shayna Baszler wore at NXT when she fought Lola Vice. That was probably one of the best setups I've seen her in.
But the one
And
where she
then
had the gi,
the what?
where she had the jiu-jitsu gi.
Yeah, and she came out with I think it was some white, like she had her regular pants and shit, but she had the white, like it was more like white themed rather than like that black gear she be wearing with the red.
Right.
And the reason is because when she do the black gear shit, she be doing that crazy makeup around the eyes. Like I don't think she need to do all that. Like the war paint, you don't need to do the war paint. You just need to
Like
come
she's
out
right
there.
with him, like she wants to be Ronda Rousey or something.
Right. That when she started doing that, I'm like, yeah, nah, this is you losing me a bit with this. But she's definitely badass. Like I think she could be like a female Brock Lesnar to me. Or like a Kurt Angle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Along those real dominant MMA style wrestlers, just a female version. She just had the word you said presentation. She hasn't had that right presentation yet. And I think now they're getting it. They definitely getting it now, in my opinion. It's just the only thing I would have to see is to me is who's the. I feel like is Shayna Baszler and Zoe the tag team and Sonya Deville the single. Like that's the vibe I'm getting. Like that's the tag because I really don't know who's the tag team out of them, but that's the vibe I feel is Shayna and Zoe.
The vibe I've been getting is Shayna and Zoe the tag team, and what's it?
Sonya Deville,
Sonya is the mouthpiece.
facts. She just pop out and show out when she got to.
Hmm. Which makes sense because Sonya is much better on the mic too,
Yeah.
or she's more confident and relaxed on the mic.
The next match of the night, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Ludwig. We spoke about this a little bit earlier. Yeah, I thought again, I'm gonna just double down and say I thought this would have been a good moment to give Kaiser like a look. We could have had that other moment swapped that they had earlier with Gunther, where he cuts that promo with Sammy. It could have just been furthering Imperium's dominance, like, and gave us an extra week to really think about who we want to challenge Gunther. We didn't really need nobody an immediate challenger either. That was my point where I was trying to get to earlier. Like Agreed. They were seeing before they linked up with Deville, and her mic skills presence better than Zoe and Baszler. Yep, there you go. Yeah, so
Yeah, because if you think about it, what say Ludwig wins the match, he already has the endorsement from Gunther because of the faction. But who's the man that Ludwig out put him on the shelf? Braun. So the
yep.
story would have already been there.
That's again why I thought like it's a good way for them to already have play. There was no need for this tournament, to be honest. There was a few competitors that had stake in the claim before we got to where we get into with Jay Uso. That's one. Not saying we shouldn't do the Jay stuff, but we could have either saved it or if they want to really do this in Georgia, whatever the case is. But it's a lot of things that could have happened. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it hurts Braun Breaker to lose right now. Like if he faces
Uh,
Jay Uso, I wouldn't be mad if he loses.
I think it wouldn't hurt him depending on who his opponent would be.
Mm.
Because you're saying that if he loses to Jay or whatever, it would have the same effect as that if you were to lose to Sammy again, or if you were to lose to maybe a Sheamus.
Now hear me out. This is to me where they didn't fuck up with Braun Breakers in my eye, but okay, he beat Sammy. Then when they had that 2 out of 3 falls match, Sammy did get a pinfall on him in a quick, like this wasn't a long 2 out of 3 falls match. This was like he caught you slacking on a pinfall. You ain't
Well,
go
that's
clean,
true.
and that was Sami Zayn. So that's why I was like, and then Jay just calling him a rookie too, kind of like reminds me, like, yeah, like I mean, this is his first like real, like we could, he got elevated, no doubt, right? But I wouldn't be mad at him chasing again.
Yeah, I just feel that it would depend on who he's chasing would determine if the loss was worth a damn or not.
No, yeah, for sure. I can't have nobody like Tozawa just come in here, win a tournament, and beat him. No, I get what you're saying. Like, it just can't be anybody. Even Pete Dunne. I can't have Pete Dunne. He's in the fucking 4-man show. I can't have him win, go all the way and beat Braun. Even if it's Braun Strowman, I would like for Braun to beat him because it'll make Braun look even more dominant. But with Jay, I feel Braun Breaker when he when he underestimates somebody and he's overlooking the occasion, he could slip up. It's been seen. The Ludwig
Or
one
in
would be a
Jay's
little
case,
tricky.
I think Ludwig and Jay would be a simple situation in which the overall crowd would their reaction would overcome Braun. Braun will try to like go for a flash knockout. They'll both catch him slipping. Ludwig either put him to sleep or Jay will just hit a super kick and just daze him and knock him out with a splash or something like that. But
Mhm.
they will both have similar reactions because of the crowd.
And then I think if Jay wins right now, I'm gonna be honest, it does a lot because that will be his first singles championship, and everybody could finally put the talk to rest. Oh, you know, whatever the case is, we could get that out the way for him. And then when it's time to do the job again to Braun, then move on back to the bloodline storyline or Jimmy coming back, then we get that. That's why I wouldn't really be mad at it. Like, I feel like they kind of don't know what to do with Braun right now, and they showing me that with this little tournament. As they don't know what to do with Gunther with having Sami Zayn come out there and do what he did.
Well, the good to say part, I agree with you, but everything else, I won't say that I don't know what to do with Braun. It's just similar to the amount of guys that are challenging LA now for the US belt. There's just so many guys like you can't really pick just one that qualifies as the head guy of the mid card per se.
So why put us in a position, right, where this is just me, my opinion. Braun Breaker could have saved that line for when Jey Uso wins the actual tournament.
Maybe he's just putting in his head like, even if you win, and no one in your family has never beaten anybody in my family, just doubling down.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
being
He
like
just
that,
letting them know.
just being that middle school bully.
Mm-hmm. And then him singling him out was kind of like just again that real family storyline. It made me more invested into. Yeah, he put Ludwig on the shelf. Yeah, he knocked Ilya unconscious. Of course, they would want their leg
He
back.
said Rick shit AEW.
But what he's talking about with Jay is like he just took it back to like, man, when we was kids, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
My daddy used to whoop your daddy's ass.
yeah, like he taking it to there, like yo, like y'all ain't never come to our side and violate. And I'm like, uh-oh, wait a minute. Like, so to me, I'm already invested with what Bron Breaker and Jey Uso got going on. Like, with all due respect to that fatal 4-way match, I just want to see Jey Uso win the damn thing. That's where I'm at with it.
Jay's follow up definitely made me interested in that potential matchup after next week's Fatal 4-Way.
I love
I'm
his
gonna win that.
serious tone.
I'm gonna win that Fatal 4-Way. I'm gonna win that IC championship, and I'm gonna whoop your ass while doing it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like,
It'll be
oh, it's
short and
never
sweet.
happened before. All right. And
This
it's
how
gonna
it's
be
gonna go
shocking.
down.
It's gonna be shocking to see. Like, do we really let a member of the bloodline? You know what I'm saying? Like, do we go there? So I'm interested. I'm definitely interested for that.
So we think does Solo have a hand in letting Braun win? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, does Braun Breaker really win? And now he could like this. This is real now. Like they could run with this narrative, like for the future. Like we planting seeds. Like you know what I'm saying. Like Braun gonna have to probably see Solo in them or Roman soon. Like you know what I'm saying. Like or maybe it could just be chatter
Well,
like between them, but the
well,
family talk.
well, like I said before, Roman's gonna make his way to Raw sooner or later to go see Seth. You don't think he's gonna have Braun's words in the back of his head on top of that?
We done seen what The Rock did to Cody for mentioning family.
I'm just saying, like, if this is planting the seeds for Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns, sign me the fuck up.
It can. Because what I've been thinking that Roman's going to Netflix to Raw. I've been thinking that since they announced that. And this is again just be setting things up. He got one up on the family. He beat Jay. Now he got even more shit to speak to Roman whenever he decides to step on Raw. Like, nah, you ain't
and
coming
like,
up here. Mm-hmm.
what better way to keep Roman on Netflix for a few more weeks after he beats the shit out of Seth Rollins out of PLE?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie too. With all the way they go back to stuff, it's not far fetched to see them do that, especially with the way they included Seth Rollins into the Drew McIntyre and CM Punk storyline. Like, I could really see them going back to that. Like, I felt like there was no necessity for it before, but yeah, why not do it? Why not make money?
I mean, look how many weeks after people were chanting Yeet before we got Damian Priest and Jey Uso teaming together.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on the same show. So
But for the,
imagine when we hear Roman's theme interrupting Braun Breaker's promo.
that'd be crazy. It'd be what Roman and Goldberg was supposed to be in terms of spear versus spear.
No, I'll go for a little further and say this is the perfect follow up to Roman Reigns' story with Brock Lesnar.
Mm.
That level of violence and physicality.
If they build that up the right way, which I know they can, that would be crazy. Cause we're already getting a taste of what could happen. Like we see Roman got tangled up with Jacob Fatu not too like 2-3 weeks ago. So that type of matchup for him is always intriguing. But for the main event of tonight of Raw, we got the Damian Priest and Jey Uso versus Finn Balor and JD McDonough tag team match. I'm gonna be honest, I like and dislike this because I've been waiting for weeks for Damian Priest to get his hands on Finn Balor, and this is how he got to get his hands on him. On the other side, having Jey Uso and Damian Priest together felt fun. The match felt fun. So yeah, that's that.
All the time Jey Uso want to come through the crowd. Now this time he don't want to come through the crowd.
And they were fucking turned up. Like it looked like they couldn't wait to start yeeting and doing the bouncing of the
Like
hand.
once you hear the ooh so you're all looking at the owls away for to come out. The team comes to the ramp. Oh, he's over there. All right. Because fuck us, right?
But it
That's how it
also,
looks
to me, I feel like that's dope too, though, because it also makes being somewhere in a certain time special, right? Like, yo, I remember I was in this city when he was in the crowd. Like, not every city could say that, unfortunately. Like, whatever city was
But
special,
he's been doing this for every city
yeah. And then
on
this city
Raw.
just came out this way
That's
and make it special.
what I'm
Like,
saying.
damn.
Like,
I feel like it's even times when they do the walking through the concession stands and all of that. They did those a handful of times, like, and I know those people that be back there and they like, oh, he really walking through concessions, like getting on TV and stuff. Like they could always watch that on Monday Night Raw. They could go back and watch themselves. Yeah, I was on this episode, like,
and Denver could be the one city where, yeah, he just came to the ramp for us.
and they was so turned up, like that was crazy. That was crazy.
But before we go on to the main event matches, and being turned up, what's your thoughts on the debut of Joe Tessitore?
I
I
thought he
saw a lot.
sounded good.
I saw a lot of mixed reviews on social media.
I thought he sounded good. I felt like he wasn't. First off, I didn't hear no botches from this man. I just want to say that, like, out of everybody else that debuted and everybody else had foolish debuts, miscues, saying stupid shit. I didn't really hear none of that from Joe. If anything, I've heard maybe little times when he's hesitant to jump in after Wade, or like, he's giving Wade his time. He's not trying to come through and be like, yo, I'm here to outshine you. I caught the vibe. He's there to do his job.
I think the folks are just now. Joe's going to be an adjustment period, respectfully, but also I think with Pat McAfee being the bundle of energy that he is, set the bar too high for Joe. So
And you
folks were
can't
expecting Joe to have that energy is similar to that, to where he's just a fan amongst the crowd.
And Wade sounds like a little. Maybe Wade was the bad parent for him because they both sound too serious. Like, in
Yeah.
my opinion, like maybe you might want to have Corey Graves or Michael Cole with him over there because Joe, he said, I don't know if it was just me, but Wade Barrett sounded louder than him. And I don't know if that's just off Wade Barrett. He's been doing that on WWE, so he got the tone. And like you said, it's gonna be an adjustment period for Joe. So I just felt like that was the only thing too. He sounded low a few times. I don't know if his mic volume was low or he was just talking low, but a little energy too. But I can't knock it though. Like I don't know if you caught it at the bottom of Raw, the graphic where they said play by play. Then they showed Joe Tessitore, analyst, Wade Barrett, ring announcer, Alicia. You know, like they had commentated, like whatever it was on the screen in the bottom. I don't know if you caught that. I thought that was dope too. Cause it's like, okay, we letting you know, like he's just here to call play by play. He's calling the action in the ring. So don't knock
Yeah,
him for, you know what I'm saying? Let's not knock him.
at least sound like you're happy to be there.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Some energy. Can be on set. I'll say that much. He didn't botch at all. He was a bit boring to me in the beginning, but later through the show, he opened up a bit more. Yeah, it's an adjustment period. I definitely felt like he's been a little hesitant out there.
Now I get it. He just want to step on people's toes again. Can't knock that, but also it's like again, have some fun there.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
ESPN. It's not Sports Center. You're not covering any kind of sport, whatever. You're just chilling with the homies.
Like Mike Adamle was terrible. Coach when he came back, not terrible, but I felt like he didn't even take that shit. He just fuck it, like.
I'm glad you said coach the second time about the first one because the first time I thought he was doing really good because he was energetic. He was out there just vibing and wilding out.
Yeah, he was part. To me, he was part of the story. Like he was like
As he should
story.
be.
Yeah, he was like Michael Cole. Like he was part of the story at them times with the Rock and all of that, having fun. The second time, it just felt like I don't know. Then they had some other bald dude. I forgot his name, Mike something, or he came from like UFC or the MMA world. They had him for like a week or two, and then he split. So I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell.
Just don't be afraid to step out of your own skin. You'll be just fine.
I think too, it's always refreshing to have like you got the mainstay. Like we know for the most part, Michael Cole, then Corey Graves, and then now Wade Barrett. Those are like the mains. And it's always good to switch in and see who else could bring what to the table. Like I personally, I don't know how long is Joe Tessitore's contract with WWE.
It's a few years, I think.
Once it's done, I don't even see him being re-signed. I just see like this is like, this is the Joe
Oh,
Tessitore era. After that, I
we'll
don't know.
probably have a better realization by that around Mania season.
Yeah, we got to see them calls. Like,
Because if you can't get lit during WrestleMania, then yeah, maybe this place isn't the place for you.
yeah, maybe we got to see. But yeah, I thought he did good tonight. The overall main event, I said how you felt about that.
It was fun.
Are you as like? Does it matter to you? Like, this is how Priest got to get his lick versus Finn Balor. Like, I think to me it takes away. Like now, I kind of don't even care when they get the 1-on-1.
Mm, yes and no to that part. I mean, this would have made more sense to have maybe a JD and Carlito in the match instead of Finn. But again, there's been speculation that this is a ploy to get or to reintroduce the Demon Finn back into WWE. Well, we'll see about that.
It got to be because at this point too, like Priest and Jay picking up the pin for victory. Like, what more? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I beat you in the tag team match. I still don't got my one-on-one match though. Like, I'm not buying that.
Yeah. But on the other notion, it was fun to see Rhea beat Liv over with a crutch. I mean, that was fine for what it was, but other than that, the match was just eh.
That's what it is about the. That's why I feel like I'm kind of annoyed by the two-part Judgment Day story, like where you have Finn Balor and Damian Priest stuff going on, but then you got Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley stuff, which is it's hot. It's hot stuff. So their involvement is tangled up with Finn and Damian's involvement, which rightfully so, but also it's just too much. Like, to me, it's just too much. Like,
Oversaturation is the real thing.
yeah, like I'm tired of seeing Rhea Ripley almost get her hands on Liv Morgan for them to get in the match, and like it's like we know the outcome of because of the
For this
story.
to
It's like,
still
yeah,
for this to still be the only move that they have going into their angle shows that, or shows how little they care about it as a whole.
and I felt this was
And
gonna happen. I said this after um this whole little triangle. Where is it gonna go aside from and the payoff is pretty much looking like what you've been calling. We want to see Dom get his ass whipped.
yep,
Because I think the idea of the women's championship is falling by the wayside too.
the last thing they wanted was for that women's title to ride backseat to the story, and this is the women's title is probably five, six, 7 seats behind what the main story of this actually is now.
That's how I feel.
It could have been on par with everything, and then you allowed it to go by the wayside because you chose to go down this route as opposed to what was actually working and maintaining the story's continuity.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like, why there can't be a situation where Liv Morgan got to defend the championship against? I mean, who can hold the championship on Raw right now for the females? Right now, top female. Let's just say Io Sky because she was the champion on SmackDown, right? Let's say you booked them in the
Also, well, as far as again story continuity purposes, you could have Liv lose to Sonya Deville.
but and then what I'm getting is that Rhea interferes in a way where like, nah, if you're gonna cost me the championship, I'm gonna cost it. None of us is gonna have the championship. How about that? Instead of the championship just sitting here doing nothing. Now you
Or
could move this
the
along.
ref is really interfering, and then Liv retains by disqualification, and then you get Rhea back in the fold right there.
You feel me? Like, but after a while, it seems like Rhea don't even care about the championship no more.
I mean, today apparently suddenly she does, but again, where was his energy weeks ago?
Right. I mean, and then when you had the actual match, you was about to not care about the championship. You was about to hit Liv with
Exactly.
like with the chair. So again, it's
And
a
if
lot
I'm
of wait and see.
if I'm Liv, I'm using that chair spot in my promo the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Contradiction. That's why for me, I feel like they don't even need the belt on Liv right now. She's not.
Well, I mean, it's not that she don't need it. Again, they're not giving us reason to believe why she needs it.
Yeah, because she accomplished the mission in my eyes. Like when she won the championship, I'm like, okay, mission accomplished. She got it
I
off
mean,
Becky
shit. I mean,
Lynch.
shit. Zelina Veg's been calling for a title shot for almost 2 months now.
Yeah, that I ain't gonna lie. I'm tired of that too. Like they need to really like. She needs to present herself in a more like how she used to when she first came through the first time. Right now, she mad emotional and like I don't know. Like, it's good to show
Well,
emotion and all that, but it's like too
they're
much.
trying to put her paint her that light, but it's the start and stop bullshit that's getting her.
Yeah.
As I've been saying, it's the Vince McMahonisms.
But yeah, as we wrap up, I want to get your thoughts on what your overall rating of the show was.
Also, I'll say a 6 because
Six.
again, yes, yeah, they started to plant some seeds for maybe Survivor Series, but you got a PLE in 4 weeks in Atlanta. It's the last PLE in the States for the year. Make it special, please. This is a name that we haven't, our PLE that we haven't had amongst the ranks in almost 20 years. Make it special, please.
I can agree with that.
And again, it's only fitting that the last time I think one of the last times we had this PLE was with one of WWE's most violent rivalries in Triple H and Shawn Michaels with their infamous Three Stages of Hell match. You could have the very same stipulation with Priest and or not with Drew and Punk, or you could have a few other stipulations that could be equally as admirable for the name of the PLE. But
And please make it special because I don't want to see Cody versus Solo and Roman have to help Cody again.
I don't know. So if it's gonna be Cody and Solo better fucking win. Not because Cody's technically be the hometown kid or whatever. I don't know. He's again, yes, he's better on as a chase, but the story with him and Roman, he don't need to walk in as champion for that one. One could argue the story with him and Roman doesn't even need the belt. Just like when Cody runs it back with The Rock, it doesn't need the belt. Let's build on what Solo has been doing these last few months, running the bloodline post Mania. Now is where you get to see how much stroke he really does have.
Nah, I agree with that though, because I don't want to see Cody get an assisted win against the Bloodline from Roman again. That's all I'm saying. I can't.
It shouldn't be Roman. It shouldn't be Randy. It shouldn't be anybody.
I can't. I can't deal with that, bro. Now, if there's another stipulation where it's just supposedly him versus Solo and the Bloodline is banned from ringside, then
I want to see Solo kept up from 10 crossroads because it seems to be Cody needs no less than 3 to beat somebody anyway. I want to see Solo bounce up from all of them. No, sell the fuck out of that move.
yeah, Cody went video game mode with that like super finisher. Like,
And now even the fans are going to be like, okay, like, he don't need this bullshit no more. This shit's ass. Even like Roman said at Mania, this move sucks.
I mean, I thought the move was fire, but if you got to do it that many times to put somebody down, then you might want to have to think about something else, right? Like,
Can you call it a finisher when you can't beat nobody with it one time?
hmm,
Truthfully speaking, can you honest to God call it a finisher when you can't beat anybody with it one time?
he didn't do a good. Well, I don't know if he did it purposely or not, but the move isn't protected. Like, remember Baron Corbin's end of days?
Hmm.
Nobody was kicking out of that. Drew Mack was the first one at WrestleMania.
John Cena with the AA for the longest time. Batista with the Batista bomb. Triple H with the pedigree. What else? What else you got? Umaga with the Samoan Spike. Great Holly with the brain chop. Chris Masters with the master lock.
I'm not gonna lie
You
too. The
know,
first time you see it though, when like you hold something, like when he did it to Seth Rollins. Oh, I'm gonna do the crossroads for 3 times, whatever. That shit was fire. But when you see it done, or even to Brock Lesnar, but when you see it done to everybody, like, come on, bro, this is dragging it.
hmm
That's the problem.
And I don't even notice in W2K24 they have the Crossroads and the Crossroads trilogy.
That's crazy.
They gave it its own name.
Yeah, that's the problem. Ain't no move really like, but I think it's more on the talent too. Like Gunther does a power. Well, he did a power bomb as his finish, and for a long time, people weren't really kicking out of that. And just
Same with
double,
Ilya and the H bomb.
yeah, and just to make sure, just to ensure that nobody was kicking out. If he felt you was gonna kick out, he'll roll you up and do another power bomb.
You don't see no one walking away from Oscar's crossface checker in the Oscar lock. You didn't see anyone having to take more than one F5 from Brock. It's okay to be stingy with your finishing move because it is what it is. It's a finisher, not a signature. There's a difference. You protect your finish.
What kills it for me is that you do it one time, like you said, no less than 3, because you already do it once, it didn't work. Boom. Then you get into the trilogy that make it 4. I'd be good if you didn't do it the whole match, and then when you decide to do it, you either do one or the other. You either do the
Mhm.
trilogy or you just do one. And if it didn't work, now you got to find something else. But to keep going back to the well multiple times though, yeah. Like when I seen it against Kevin Owens, I was like, no, Kevin Owens do not need to get 3 of these things, man.
Same with Solo. He didn't need 3 of them either.
Yeah, like
It was cute when Cody did it to Roman. It was cute when he did it to Seth. But everyone else is like, why?
it became like that pop moment, but now it's not so poppy. Like
It's going to go down the same fate that we treat the super kick, the DDT, the Canadian Destroyer. Need I name any moves? Any other moves?
even Uncle Howdy, he does the Sister Abigail. It just needs to plant that shit one time.
You don't see Bray. You don't see Bray hitting it. Get back up, hit it with another one again. Switchblade JY does the same thing. He calls it the Blade Runner or something like that. See him hit one. That's it. You don't see him hit it, roll back up, hit it again. They're getting sloppy. I'm telling you.
Now I ain't gonna lie. I think now a lot of times now is when they really decide to insult our intelligence because there's a lot of shit that I've seen that been scrapped, and it's like, can y'all like going and giving us little pay attention to details for other shit? Why not for the shit that you scrapped? Like, why couldn't I feel like it might be petty, but why can't have the same way you have a backstage segment with Jay and Sammy talk about how they going for the tag titles and getting me hype? Why you can't have a little moment where it's like, yo, we might not get them this, but don't think I forgot, you heard? Like, instead of just straight just acting like that moment ain't happened. Or the Jay Uso moment in the Money in the Bank. I'm the first entrant, but you still had to qualify. Like, your next promo could have been like, you know what I'm saying?
Don't get me started on that again, please.
This is what I'm saying. You could have, oh yeah, I mean, I said what I said, but General Manager Adam Pearce still making me, well, you know what? I'm gonna still win this match anyway. Like, there's ways to play around that. They just chose not to. Fuck it, we don't even need to explain.
Also, before we continue with the Raw stuff and WWE stuff, I have a couple quick announcements. This Thursday for Hog Wrestling in Chicago, Mustafa Ali versus Zilla Fatu.
That's gonna be crazy.
Also, just announced a little under an hour ago, November 22nd, in New Japan Pro Wrestling, it's going to be a battle of generations. Tatsumi Fujinami, noted as one of Japan's greatest exports, versus the current king of the junior heavyweights, Hiromu Takahashi, with special guest referee Yushin Thunder Liger. Just so much history with those three names alone. The past, the present, the future of the junior heavyweights. But between them, probably shit. Over 30 title reigns alone. That's going to be one for the Japanese crowd. You still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Just right into the chat over here. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in with us on Twitch, Twitter, Kick, YouTube. Much love, man. I welcome your thoughts off the hip, man. Anything else we got before that we covered all of Monday Night Raw?
Oh yeah, No Mercy was a fun show, and AEW has another pay per view this weekend.
The All Out shit, right?
Yep, and
Yeah.
half the card's been announced so far, and it's looking like it's going to be another elongated Dynamite.
Oh man.
You got Jungle Boy versus Bryan Danielson. You got part 500 between Swerve and Hangman, MJF, Daniel Garcia. The rematch between Mercedes and Hikaru Shida. And I'm sure they'll announce 10 more matches this Wednesday on Dynamite.
Man. I wish I could get excited for AEW stuff.
I will myself to get excited, and I still got let down. So conserve your energy. Because
Energy is gone.
like I said, they can make all the adjustments they want, and they almost always fall back to their old habits, and then they'll attempt to justify why they stuck with their old habits. Like, for example, with Wembley, You had Jungle Boy take shots at Punk during the coffin match. You had Tony Khan try to speak on Punk during that match or that show, whatever. I saw a lot of jokes today how on this day 2 years ago, Punk was fired from AEW,
Yep.
and it's like the fact that this man still lives in your guys' head rent free, and even though this man was fired from a company, he's the last person to pop a number above 800K for you guys. Says a lot. Like, look what's happened to the Revival, Ricky Starks. Look at MJF and Swerve now. Look at Hobbs, Wardlow. Look at you. You had Jamie Hayter, one of your top females, pop up on a pre-show instead of the main card. Where's Sky Blue at? Where's I know Rio's out with a broken arm, but you could have Sheeta on the card. Sheeta's much one of your more popular women. Where's Chris Statlander was on the pre-show with Willow, which again shouldn't have been the case. Instead, you're focused on Mercedes, the Bucks, and anyone who's friends with them, and it's only costing you guys money. And you're hoping to bank MVP, Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin. What are you gonna do with that? You pissed away a Ricochet in less than 7 days. But again, like Dave Meltzer says, it's where the best wrestle, right?
Yep.
Scooter, you saw the Wembley show, right?
I seen it. I'm watching on mute though.
Oh, let's say Meltzer graded the coffin match a 5-star match.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He graded the Mariah May Tony Storm match, which was much better than Mercedes and Britt, higher or lower than Mercedes and Britt. Like he got certain matches backwards. He gave Swerve and Danielson, I think 6.5 stars. Not quite the Omega Okada 7 stars. We're pretty damn up there. He gave MJF Ospreay, I think 5 or 6 stars. I mean, almost every match but the Hook Jericho match and uh, Tony Storm and Mariah May match. Every other match was a 5-star match, damn near, according to Dave Meltzer, which is hilarious.
I don't know. He on timing. For real, he's on timing. Like I don't know.
He's on some good stuff. I'll tell you that much.
Hell yeah.
So I'm very interested to see how he grades back in Berlin as well as No Mercy. So those reports should be coming out sometime tomorrow, if not Wednesday. But other than that, we'll see how the final SmackDown on Fox will be this Friday. I noticed Wade Barrett and Joe Tesler, they were putting a whole lot of influence on this Friday being the final SmackDown for Fox. So I expect them to pull out all the stops.
You think so?
I expect them to.
Mm.
You leave the way you came in with a bang.
No Roman.
We'll see.
Maybe. So
But
there's
again,
talks online right now. People saying that Liv Morgan has hit 100 days as the women's world champion and only had one title defense. I don't know how accurate that is, but
well, no, she's had two
that's what I thought.
because she defended against Zelina on Raw.
Hmm.
That's probably the AEW loyalists trying to stir the pot when they hate watch WWE.
I didn't even know she hit 100 days as champion, though. That's kind of crazy.
I thought she'd be past 100 days by now because she won like a week or two after Mania, right?
Um,
Because it was that steel cage against Becky.
yep.
Yeah, that's 4 months ago, so we're past 100 days.
I'm looking at WWE .com. It say 100 days.
How long after was that cage match then? But even still, it's like again, like the timeline still kind of adds up by a week or two. So again, I'm not really surprised. You've had two defenses.
Hmm.
So again, back to the internet. What's the problem?
I don't know. They just want to point that out. But again, though, they do have the women's championship over in Purgatory, opposed to the men's.
Mm, but here's the thing: can you really call it purgatory though?
For that one, yeah.
If not Rhea or Liv, who else would you want the belt on?
Cause my thing is this: it's like, what be the difference between like what they doing now with the championship and when they was claiming Roman wasn't defending it
Back to my question that I asked a couple seconds ago: who would you have on the belt aside with the belt aside from that?
on Raw? Io Sky.
And who was she defended against? You'd be in the same problem right now.
That's the problem with having that tag team division. They put in these makeshift. She could have easily been in the loop with Shayna Baszler.
But in Io's case, with Oscar being out with the injury, that would kind of rule her out to a degree. So that part is understandable. But again, like so, you as far as the singles women, you have Sonya, you have Liv, you have Rhea. That's it. What are you gonna count? Nikki Cross too? You gonna count Maxine Dupree? You gonna count Selena Vega?
I mean, we kind of have to.
But again, back to my point. Like if those are the only available names, who would you have the belt on? If it's not Rhea, it'd be Liv. Much like with SmackDown. Yes, Nia has the belt right now. You have Tiffany with the briefcase. You have Bailey back. If not them three, who you have the belt on? Naomi?
So after the vacant title when Rhea dropped after Mania, they had a vacant title from April 15th to the 22nd. Then
So
that's
that's
when
1 week.
then that's when Becky Lynch got the belt in that, I guess it was that Battle Royal,
Yep.
and then she held the belt for 32 days from 20 April 22nd to May 25th. That's when she lost to Liv.
Yeah, so I see today being day 100 because not long after that was Berlin, and they said that Alba Fire Aladon had the belt for 77 days. So yeah, the math adds up.
And, also, you know what's crazy? They still have the Universal Championship as a present belt, the WWE Championship as a present belt.
No, yeah, because well, that makes sense because well, are they establishing Cody's belt as the Universal Championship still?
Yeah, like I'm on the website, and when you go to superstars and you see champions, they have his picture twice. It says Cody Rhodes Universal Champion, and then underneath Cody Rhodes Undisputed WWE Champion. And then right
So
underneath that, they have Gunther as the World Heavyweight Champion. So they have Gunther's picture updated. And it's just weird that they have two boxes for Cody right here, as if the title is not unified.
well, in storyline purposes, they never stated the belts were unified. They just gave it Roman Reigns a new belt to commemorate his dominant reign. So that part I can understand. But with that being said, at Mania this past April, why didn't Roman walk out with three belts? And you drop the current one and you bring back the other ones. See, this is not bullshit they be doing sometimes. It's like they purposely leave plot holes that are very simplistic potholes.
Yeah. Because what if theoretically, right? Like you saying, like, what if they like I mean not an extra brand, but what if there's a way for Roman Reigns or like at some point Roman's like, nah, I want my undisputed WWE championship, but you could keep the universal one. Or like, nah, I wanted the universal one, the blue one that he had, remember? Like that's the one that
And
Roman started.
then when we have Cody Roman 3, Roman's got to pull up with those two belts.
And then that could be the okay.
Like this, Roman said, this was technically yours, but guess what? It's still around my shoulder. This is the one you beat me for.
Right.
But then again, you would almost have to keep tally of Roman's title reigns as champion. Then, see again, another plot hole.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's safe to say that, like you said, that's the plot twist because under what I'm seeing right here, Cody took both championships. Like he's in possession. They listed him as both champions. But by possession, if like what I'm saying, by what you saying, Roman Reigns could be like, well, you wanted the WWE championship here. This is but this is what is really mine, the universal. So I could see that. But it's the plots and the twists.
And it makes it dumber than what it actually is.
Yeah, because I wasn't, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to come to the superstar section on WWE.com. The first thing they give you is champions and see Cody twice. Like I thought we was, and then see Gunther. So it's like 3 heavyweight belts. Even though I know there's not, but it can leave that what if.
And again, with WWE, why do you do this to yourself? Just why?
Yeah, because you see how like when I click into, let me see, I'm gonna click into the first one, Universal Champion Cody. It shows he has both championships. Like you said, that belt he's holding is the commemorative title that was gifted to Roman. But when you click into it, they still show the black belt, WWE Championship, and then the Universal Championship as the blue one. And when I click into the Universal Championship, right, it says 2016 to present.
Hey, they do it to themselves.
There's only been 6 people to hold that belt, and from
The Universal
2020,
title.
from 2020 to now, there's only been 6 people to hold it.
The Universal title.
Yep.
Brock, Roman, Goldberg, KO, Drew, Lashley? Or are we just counting Cody as number 6?
No, so if you're giving me those, yeah, there's 16 people that held it overall.
Yeah.
Finn, KO, Goldberg, Brock, Roman, Brock,
Seth.
Seth, Bray.
That random Survivor Series match where each Shield member held the title was, which belt was that? Was that the Universal?
Yeah, say that again.
That random Survivor Series match when Moxley was Mr. Money in the Bank, was that the Universal belt that was being hoarded around? Or was that the World Heavyweight Championship?
I think he had the heavyweight, the world heavyweight,
Oh, okay.
or the
Yeah,
WWE one.
because Roman went in as champion, Seth beat him, and then Ambrose pinned Seth or something like that.
Yeah, they don't got Dean as listed as a champion for the Universal Championship.
Yeah, so it had to be the other one then.
So if you think about it, folks, I'm about to put out a narrative that might get y'all upset.
Fuck it.
Cody Rhodes became a 2-time champion in one night.
Just like Daniel Bryan, just like Chris Jericho before him.
Yep. He's in that territory. So we might just see one belt on his waist or around his shoulder or around his arms when he carries it. But according to this website, to WWE, he's listed as capturing the Universal Championship as well as the WWE Championship.
And yet still no Winged Eagle.
Why you gotta do that, man? I love that belt.
You started it.
I love that belt, man. Ever since the tease, I needed that shit to come back. Again, I think it's cool, right, that they have the belts that they have in place now. But if you have a superstar that wants to honor prestige and would like to bring back one of these championships, they're already on sale on their website. I don't understand what.
Now calm down now, because they sell the spinner belt there too.
Yeah, if Cena get one last run, I mean,
ain't no way he's bringing back the spinner belt.
With the new Cena logo on
it. The spinner belt is not coming back.
Man.
It'd be funny, but it's not coming back.
European Championship. I want to see who's the last European champion.
I got my money on either Jericho or let's see. That would have been. I want to say a part of me says D'Lo Brown, but I feel like it's Jericho. Were you looking it up?
Yeah, I got the answer in front of me while you was telling me.
Who was it?
It was Jeff Hardy. He held the belt for 12 days from July 8th of 2002 to July 21st of 2002. And I wonder if that's around the invasion period.
The invasion was 01-02.
So that would be early, like January, February, because I'm wondering. Now I got to go back and see why this championship was retired. Well, let me see.
Vince got more. That's the age-old reason.
Rob Van Dam defeated Jeff Hardy to unify the Intercontinental European Championship.
Who Jeff beat for the belt?
William Regal.
Of course it is. How far back was D'Lo champion?
Shit. You want to know what's crazy? Spike Dudley held the belt for 27 days. I forgot about
That
that.
I remember. That I remember. But I don't know why I
D'Lo,
thought D'Lo was.
I'm gonna check in for you because they got it
I don't know.
by decades. So you thinking
I don't.
about the 90s? He last held the belt in October 28th, 1999. That's a long time.
God damn! I thought he had later than that. Why was I thinking he was the last champion?
Nah, I could read you the last few champions: Jeff Hardy, William Regal, Spike Dudley, William Regal, Diamond Dallas Page, Christian, Bradshaw, Hurricane, Matt
When the
Hardy,
fuck was JBL a European champion?
and he only held it for 9 days. That's the crazy
I
part.
don't give a fuck. I need to watch that Raw.
You know what's fire about this? Like WWE.com shit. When you click on the date, they give you like a little, I guess, summary. He says at the time, Bradshaw is known for his tag team skills, but on October 22nd, 2001, the big man from Texas proved his worth as a singles competitor when he defeated the Hurricane for the European Championship on Monday Night Raw. Bradshaw only held the championship for a few weeks before losing it to Christian on SmackDown.
There's like at least there's at least like 80 Raws and 100 SmackDowns we got to go back and watch.
Yep. Crash Holly held the belt for 1 day.
Well, shit, he held everything but the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, little Crash. Al Snow, Perry Saturn, Eddie Guerrero.
Now them I remember with the belt, but DDP and JBL, how did I forget that?
Yeah, DDP is like
That's a random one for me.
Test held the belt. Val Venus.
Because
Nitty.
it was the European belt, and I think the IC belt, because the US belt hadn't returned just yet,
Nah, this is sleazy, bro. So Shane McMahon held the championship, right? For 47 days.
right?
And then it says here, no other superstar had an easier time becoming European champion than Midian. When he saw the European Championship in Shane McMahon's bag, he went to the young McMahon and asked if he can have it. Shane, in an attempt to get Midian away from him, told him he could do whatever he wanted. Midian wanted the European Championship, so he took it.
Is that when we got Naked Midian?
I believe so.
That's why.
That's
Vince
crazy.
Price said, "Shane, this will be funny, pal."
You know, I guess you know what's crazy. I guess the look of the European Championship made it more prestigious than what it actually was, because a lot of this I'm looking at is foolery. The only
Oh,
time
no,
that
the belt was treated like dog shit. That I remember, but yeah, but it was a beautiful belt.
yeah, like I think the only memorable moment to me was like I'm looking at it, right? It's a British Bulldog held the belt for 205 days. He held the title for 7 months. He eventually lost the championship to Shawn Michaels in the main event of the one night only. Listen to that. That was the main event. The European Championship
Mm-hmm.
was the main event of the one night only pay-per-view extravaganza to Shawn Michaels.
Because
And
that's when Shawn was on his fuck the Hart family bullshit.
yep. And then he beat Shawn beat him and handed Triple H the championship.
That's funny.
That's when it became a joke.
And then he had Lance Fair with it and called it the Saskatchewan something Junior Heavyweight Championship or something like that.
Wow.
The 24/7, 365, I-95 South, and Detroit Championship.
Oh man. The NXT Cruiserweight, yeah, they kind of lost me when they did that. I don't know why they did that.
Again, Vince never thought fondly of the cruiserweight division, even though we had a pretty damn good division then and now, or then and then. But yeah, just Vince being Vince. But if you look at
Yeah.
the lineage of the cruiserweight championship, you have guys like Paul London, Brian Kendrick, Chavo Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. Fast forward to Adrian Neville, and now known as Pac, T.J. Perkins, Mustafa Ali, Enzo Amore. Now you could have had Dragon Lee. You could have had Dominic Mysterio. You name it.
You know what makes it confusing too a little bit when they got like the women's championship, like the old WWE shit from 1956 to 2010, and that lineage stops there. Like boom.
Yeah, because then you had the women's championship on Raw, the Divas SmackDown Championship, or the Divas Championship on SmackDown.
And they so funny with it though. I noticed what they being funny with. Okay. World Tag Team Championship 2002 to present. And then the WWE Tag Team Championship from 2016 to present. So y'all only kept one from 2002 from like that
Hmm.
SmackDown whatever.
Yeah, because the World Tag Team Championships, those were WCW belts, if I'm not mistaken. Same with Raw's World Heavyweight Championship, which was then known as the Big Gold Belt. That was the WCW Championship. The U.S. title was the WCW Championship.
Mm-hmm. Cody's a two-time champ, y'all. And
You going you gonna
Cody,
ride that wave, aren't you?
I'm gonna ride that way, but then we gotta really do some extra calculations and adding of numbers into Roman Reigns' days, kind of like what you saying about the defenses. Like, all right, yeah, because like let's get into it, right? Like they said he spent a certain amount of time as the Universal Champion. Then he took the one from Brock. So do you combine that? Or do you
Which
add
belt
off?
counts towards the overall title reign, and did he beat Hulk Hogan yet? Is that
That's
what you're
fair.
getting
I mean, maybe. I want trying to get there, but maybe
at?
for real, because it's like, hold on. Those are the little, I don't know. It don't. Those are details that probably don't matter, but they put them there. So now I'm looking at it.
Oh, to the guys according to the numbers, it definitely matters.
I mean, for sure, because one could argue Ric Flair, with all love and due to respect to Ric Flair's championships. What, like, who? All right, fuck. I'm just saying, whose championships we counting in WWE or outside? Like, what we doing?
Oh. Well, on the topic of Flair, if you think about it, aside from the tag team and maybe the IC belt, Flair never won no titles in WWE.
He'll always come in wearing the NWA. Well, not always, but one time, yeah, like, yeah. So it's like you can't even say he won the World Heavyweight Championship over there like that.
He never won a top prize in WWE. It was either WCW, NWA, or AWA.
But they look out for
But,
him and they recognize him like that. So
but guys like us know the truth.
yeah, because the numbers, you know what I'm saying. When you want to argue who's your favorite and why, that shit it could and not matter.
Because also, if we're going to count all of Flair's title reigns outside WWE, it's more than 16. It's like 22 or something like that.
So they put that in a reachable number.
I don't know how they
Not
decided on
reachable, but
16.
yeah, like maybe the way like they was trading baskets, so to speak, back then. Like people was just dropping belts and getting them back from each other. Like that's how the shit was.
Or one promotion is no longer recognized as a top prize. I don't know.
And I think it's also what's convenient, right? Like Booker T's a 6-time champion, but 6 time, 6 time. It don't sound the same as 5 time, 5 time. So it's more. I don't know. Like,
But like he said, he was the 5-time WCW World Heavyweight Championship, and
mm,
then when he won the belt over here, then he started calling himself the 6-time champion. But at least with
mm,
his, it made sense. Flair's, how many title reigns are actually recognized by WWE?
right.
Some say it's 16, some say it's a hell of a lot more than 16.
And then now you got to look at everybody who's probably won a right? Like now we got like that's is doing too much now.
And then you go into the argument of, for the sake of conversation, the FTW title with AEW. It's not recognized by AEW, but Tony Conso keeps track of who's in the lineage. So it counts, but it doesn't count.
No, it was definitely fun jumping down that little rabbit hole because I didn't expect to be talking about championships and the split right now at this moment. So that shit was definitely fun. It's the little deep dives. Like when I just it was crazy because the first thing I went to Twitter was that post that I said it was about Russell Ops, and they posted Liv Morgan has hit 100 days as women's world champion. Are you enjoying the reign? That's simply what they put. And
And again, if you do the math, yeah, 100 sounds about right by now.
and some people just I personally don't think when I say the belt shouldn't be on her, I think if she's gonna continue to fight other people, then yes. If she's gonna be with Rhea, then you could this they always find a sneaky way to get the belt off other people in other occasions.
Well, but again, also, if you're gonna keep it on her, then you gotta tell yourself the story with her and Maria. You can afford to put it on the back burner for about a month.
Yep.
Let that marinate.
Cause I'm not gonna lie, like when she was on her revenge tour, like look at now it could be mind tricks, but I'm not digesting it as mind tricks. She came back on time and like, yo, you big. I don't care. I'm throwing you up against the wall. And she fucked Rhea Ripley up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now every time Rhea Ripley come back, it's like she's scared of her. And they're playing the
Well,
Weasel heel.
ain't nothing wrong with the trigger should heal, but it's one of those things where like if she's meant to be holding the belt, then let her just keep those two away from each other for a minute. Let that shit marinate. Say if you kept like say we didn't get the tag match this Saturday, and we didn't hear nothing of them for about 3 weeks, and then this week Rhea says, "I'm tired of her ducking dodging me. I want my rematch," and then we get different story because again we let it breathe. Whereas this has been a constant thing over and over. A lot of folks kind of want this to be over and done with, much like Cody and the Bloodline right now. Just get it over with.
Yeah. I think too much of like when you listen to the people, right? I'm a person that I like to have my own opinion. So I'm not necessarily going with what the masses are saying. So when something might be done and they booking things a certain way, I'm looking at it like, yeah, I can see why. Because I'm reading the room. Everybody's saying this on Twitter. Like they want things to happen this way. But I like for what the Rock said when they truck through things, like for better or worse, yo, this is what we gonna do. It might be a bad mistake.
Somehow it works itself out, but like I said, if everyone's crying because of how few defenses Liv has in let's be honest, 3.5 months. Because it's what it is. It's only 3 months. If not her with the belt, then who? And you could name Io, you can name Maria, you can name anybody. We're still in the same situation. You have to build up that division again. You kind of took a few steps back when you started creating all these tag teams and these trios teams.
Or do the women's division even need two belts anymore? After all the, like, some people started leaving, some talent started, a lot of people getting hurt. Do we really need, like, there was a time when there was a lot of females that we could make Evolution and this and that. We called them five, but it seemed like Charlotte hurt. They got a lot of these teams now, like you said, so it's taken away from the actual singles. When there was no worry about women's tag teams, it felt like we had all the
Well,
women in the world, bro.
again, I'm still on board with Evolution too.
And people want to
Um,
have a women's United States Championship or a women's Intercontinental.
well,
How the fuck we gonna get there? That shit. I mean, and I want that too, but it's like if we can't find a way to,
I think because the Raw and SmackDown divisions are what they are, much like with the women's tag belts, it almost has to be one for the entire promotion, not just one for each brand, because you've proven that with the current formula you have, which has been working, the current formula in which you use to generate your shows month to month, it's almost impossible to fit two women's title belts and two sets of women's tag belts, let alone a top tier women's belt and a mid card women's belt.
I think it goes with what you said. They got to do what's best for business. Like there's gonna be years where there's uh so much talent. Like you got a boatload of talent, and then there might be years where the talent ain't there. So how can we keep up all of these titles with not as much talent? And you gotta, and again, they
Their
did it
moves can only be so good.
right. And I think they did a good job with introducing the World Heavyweight Championship. Like Triple H came out and said it. Look, y'all tired of the way that Roman held this belt. Well, we're gonna create this other belt for y'all. He flat out, like, that's how I felt. That's how I digested it. Like, y'all was tired of just one championship on Roman Reigns. Well, we're gonna go back to having two. They had they went away with the draft, and then they came back with the draft.
When Netflix gets everything, I wouldn't be surprised if there's one male top championship, one female top championship, one set of tag team belts, and one mid card belt for men and women. That's it.
For the women right now, yeah, I can agree with that.
No, I'm talking men and women. They each
Men,
have their top belt. They each have their tag team belt. And they each have a mid card belt.
so you going away
I,
with the United States and the, or like,
something. Maybe the women get the U.S. belt. The male may keep the IC belt. Something.
that'll be a twist
But
on things. I ain't
but,
gonna lie,
but
like,
with their current formula, yes. Again, like I said, the way their new format's been working, but in hindsight and for longevity purposes, there's no way you're gonna be able to keep all those belts in a constant rotation as far as quality defenses. Not everybody needs a title reign. Just it is what it is.
now I wouldn't clamor for people to get title reigns. I would just want more like prestige, like on the titles, because I feel when I'm more of the like put your money where your mouth is. I feel everybody complained about championships not meaning shit. That's what I had to hear from the community. Championships not having meaning, this and that. So where's
Well,
the meaning?
but
What's the
also
meaning?
there's multiple ways to put meaning on a belt. Yes, the obvious one is title is quality title reigns, but also it's more often than not it's the talent makes the belt. A belt should never make never make the talent
That's why
because
I
it's the
really
talent.
enjoyed
It's
Rhea's reign. That was one of the best I've seen, maybe in her and Charlotte. Like those are two women that when they have the championship, it feels different in the room. Like that shit crazy.
same when Michelle McCool had the Divas Championship. Same when Mickey James was Women's Championship.
Mickey
They
James,
they
another
were.
one.
Mm-hmm. Or even look at TNA. You had Awesome Kong and Gail Kim. Those two made the TNA Knockouts Championship to what Jordan Grace has now had as her reign of dominance.
And then even now with Bianca and Jade, they kind of got those are two powerhouses. Like arguably they could like be competing for one on Raw, one on SmackDown for the, but we gotta wait for them to get through what they gotta get through to even get to that.
Exactly.
Which sometimes it's kind of like I don't know. I think like again, I don't. It's hard because when you young, the time go by fast. But some people just put the like when Brock Lesnar was the next big thing, man. Ain't nobody waiting on nothing. Get a man a belt. I think
Because
that's
again,
what's
at that
wrong.
time, look who he had to learn from. He had Eddie, he had Edge, you had JBL, you had Triple H, you had Goldberg, you had Scott Steiner, you had Batista, you had Shawn Michaels. You were stacked on both shows because you built the talent to be that dude on each show.
And I'm not gonna lie
Now,
though, like they didn't walk into a bad cast of females either though.
but it's what you've done with them lately,
I don't
where
think that's her fault though.
everything seems borderline like a participation trophy.
Like I want to say it's not Jay. I want to say it's not her fault. It's only so much she could do. Like in the ring, I feel like I see the improvements in the style she went from an AEW to working the WWE style. Like, of course, it's not gonna be perfect. She only been there, like, you know what I'm saying, for a cup of coffee. Like, usually people go to NXT and gotta work there. She just jumped up.
I'll give you two names: Latimer Valkyria and Kiana James. What have they been doing since they got called to the main rosters? Exactly.
Do you think it is people just not buying, or you think it's how they been booked? Well, Kiana, she ain't even been used except for that Natalia spot. So that was that. And then like Valkyria, I feel like they put her in weird spots with Katana. Like, why you got her with these girls? Like,
And the same that could be said about an Odyssey Jones, about uh, a Dijak. Like, why call them up if you have no plans on using them once they're here on the roster?
and then the crazy part is that with all the shit we've been talking about, how there's need for this and need for that, and this, there should be shit for them to do.
So again, some of the booking makes no sense. It's like you could put him here, put him here, put it here, and then you may argue it's not that simple. But if you break it down, no, it's simpler than what you actually care to give off.
I'm gonna be honest. If I'm booking them, I don't know if he sells merch like that, but if I'm booking my show on my 2K24, there's no way that the Miz is a face on my show. That's where I'm starting at.
You're going back to that, aren't you?
Yeah, because I just don't understand. It's one of those force fed thing. Like, come on, the Miz is the best when he's either at that like that promo he did with Danny Bryan on the Smack Talk.
You
or
have
he,
the Miz, you have Charlotte Flair, you have potentially Jade Cargill. I can make an argument for Seth Rollins. They're at their best when they are a cutthroat heel.
yeah, I love it. But then trying to make them a people person and smiling is just taken away from. They even changed their moves and some of the things they do in the ring too. So it's like,
It's almost like they're being pigeonholed.
yeah, like there was a good point in time where it kind of blew me that Seth Rollins was doing the pedigree. He was going against the authority. Like the not so much going against the authority part blew minds, but it was the him going against them made him the face, and he took the pedigree. They banned his curb stomp and shit. I was even enjoying the Monday Night Messiah stuff, but feel like people started to like again start to really fuck with him, so he became a face again. Cause I think
Yeah,
his character be trolling. Like if you look at the like what his character does, he's a troll. He be trolling. He come out there to just like he ain't really got no friends in that shit. Like
the man wrestled Cody wearing the Dusty Rhodes polka dots.
yeah, he be trolling. That's
He,
troll shit.
at Survivor Series a few years ago, he invoked Roman Reigns' anger when he came out to the Shield music.
Trolling.
He's not been bashful about bringing up the moment from 10 plus years ago where he took the chair to Roman's back. Never shied away from it.
He knows what hurts people and he digs at that.
Yeah.
That's not a face like that's not like a John Cena or Hulk Hogan kind of move. Like take your vitamins, say your hustle, loyalty, respect. That's not the kind of face he is. So again, that's to your credit that all of the people you named, and there's even more that they do their best work when they just natural heels. Just let them go crazy.
Like one of my prefers that made the rounds on Twitter recently. JBL at the Mexican border.
I'm gonna
Back
say
then was unheard of.
I'm gonna say it too though. That like Damian Priest is in that weird position because I feel like he's been faced kind of in the Judgment Day even before the breakup. Like you could kind of see the he's trying to tell Dom to chill and like you see him being more reasonable, right?
And yeah, Dom tell him, you're just like my dad.
That yeah. So now it's like Damian being all like, oh, I found my new family, the people, and all of that. Like that shit cool, but
It
I
only
don't know.
goes so far.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like like a minor step back a little bit. Like I just felt like we was about to see more dominance. You was in there in the ring with the big dogs. Now it's just like you doing mixed tag match. You back in mixed tag like, and then when you finally get
Which
the
is fine
full
for
stuff,
now, but again, like there's gonna be a time where folks gonna be like, all right, did we see all that you can do? Was that it?
right? Because we got to see what his real. I feel like we didn't really see a chase from him while he had the briefcase. It was more of like a when is it gonna happen kind of thing, rather than like a decisive. Even him being in the Money in the Bank, people ain't have him winning that shit. People had LA Knight or some of the other favorites winning that.
Or even when he cashed in on Gunther or had the promo stuff with Gunther, and I told you about the mic work. This is probably about as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah,
But
but
we'll see how that pans out. We'll see what SmackDown holds this Friday. Hopefully, it's something good.
yep. Hopefully something good. We shall see. They back. live again. So last episode on Fox, like you said. So hopefully it's a banger, man. Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
No, like I said, I said I have high hopes for Friday.
Hell yeah. Well, chat, much love. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna let y'all ride out with the song until the end, you know what I'm saying? But y'all, that's the next one, man.
Chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out the arena, big smile, low, handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters, pow, it's off the hip. We got some shooters, pow, it's off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out the arena, big smile, low, handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters, pow, pow, it's off the hip. It's off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out the arena, big smile on, handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters, pow, it's off the hip. I got some shooters, pow, it's off the hip. We got some shooters, pow, it's off the hip. Off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out the arena, big smile, low, handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. Walk me out the arena, big smile, low, handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. Walk me out the arena, big smile, low, handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. We got some shooters.